Welcome back, everyone, to Abomination Vaults on the Undeniably Good Time Entertainment Network. When last we left our heroes, they had just triumphed over the Morlock. Trying to poke a hole in your forehead there? Or?
I'm trying to poke my third eye in the eye.
Well, it's all red now, so...
Okay.
Your third eye is the hole in your eye.
Okay.
Right, well, anyway, we had left all of our heroes in the broken down throne room of the Morlock King, Grolgast, as he so called himself. Morlock King, not Grolgast. Someone else called him Grolgast first, and it just kind of stuck. But why don't we go around the tables here and introduce our characters so that we know who is exactly in this broken down throne room. We'll start over here this time.
Ultimak, Maka Thorngard, human, and a thaumaturge. Everything I believe is true, and everything you believe is a lie, because that's what my party members tell me. And you should know.
No one tells you that.
You should know that
No,
the only way is Sarenrae, and I believe strongly that she is the light that brings us all out of the darkness.
Eyes were opened last session. Pious Puppy living the good life, just spreading the good word. Speaking of Pious Puppy, why don't we jump over to Pious Puppy real quick?
Quite the large great knoll, decked out in purity seals, symbols of Sarenrae, tasked from his god to lead these heathens and a new convert over to the Saren Way through these Abomination Vaults.
I lose it every time you say the Saren Way. Well, on the opposite of that.
Heathens. Whoa. Right under the bus over here.
Speaking of heathens.
Speaking of heathens. Okay, you guys first then. Over here is Nil. I'm a dwarven druid. Here for, just collecting samples of, just various things. Trying to do research. Trying to, find the coolest monster out there. That's what we're here for, obviously. I would assume that's why everybody's here.
Just wants cool things. What could go wrong? Why don't we pop over here to...
Over here is the swollest of the small, S-M-O-L, representing the corner of the Gnome Dome, is Caldum Fimblybottom, here to prove that all of the things that he wrote while he was alone by himself in a cave for 20 years are absolutely correct.
100%.
So far, it's been remarkably
you've been pretty spot on so far, I have to say.
Preach, my gnome.
That's then, lastly, but
barely
not least,
conscious. Trying to fix up some wounds. The Nil put some weird stuff in it's not letting it heal quite right, but it did stop the bleeding at least, and I'm not quite sure why they're so offended. Like, heathen, I'm not sure why that you think that's targeted at you in particular.
I mean, just because it didn't heal quite right didn't mean it didn't heal.
I mean, it did certainly fix a little bit, but I can't seem to get it better for now, so... Corwin Ovashti, resident field medic, who's not feeling great at the moment, after mildly stabbing himself with a knife that curved a bit weird and got caught on a artery a little bit.
Probably get a few extra bumps on your skull from all those Morlock clubs whacking you, too. Probably didn't help too much.
It wasn't the club that took me down, it was the knife in the shoulder.
That's true, that's true. They tried, man. They tried flattening you out, and really what it was, finally in the end, was you yourself trying to risky surgery.
This is how you do it, kids.
It was great.
Look, the knives curve weird, and then when you go to pull them out straight, and they're, embedded that way, and you just kind of, oh, that went wrong.
Yep. Went hilariously wrong. But the five of you are now, find yourselves in peace, surrounded by the fallen corpses of your enemies, the vile Ghost Queen Morlocks. Certainly not looking like they're being very good neighbors, at the very least.
We're taking those eyes.
They're very quiet neighbors now.
The mushroom-eyed people.
Yeah, we're taking the eyes.
Well, especially...
We're putting them in jars.
And look at the one. They're the king. Oh, my God. Look at those eyes.
They're pretty big and bloodshot.
Exquisite.
We're taking them. I've got some formaldehyde. We're putting them in fluid, and I'm taking them with me.
And they wonder why they are called heathens.
Yeah,
I really never thought I'd say this, but go ahead and give me a medicine or survival check to harvest the eyes.
So, first of all, nobody else gets asked for recycling You know, this is
animals,
recycling.
not people.
Look,
They are people.
We're just
They
pupils.
were people.
Well,
We're the good guys, I
First of
promise.
Hey, Drevin, does it count against Saren Ray for desecrating a corpse?
Not in particular, no.
Guess have at it.
I've always liked Saren Ray.
Hang on a minute.
Winning!
Hang on a minute. No.
According to the
I
priest of
trust him.
Saren
No,
Ray.
no,
According to
seriously.
the
If
dog
I
that can't
worshipped
read his own
Pharasma-
scripture.
If I worshipped Pharasma, absolutely this would not be allowed. Saren Ray just says you burn bodies.
Destroy the spawn of Rovagog, protect allies, provide aid to the sick and wounded, seek and allow redemption. Anathema, create undead, lie, deny a repentant creature an opportunity for redemption, fail to strike down evil.
I'm doing great here.
I didn't hear a
We're
single
doing
thing about
great.
corpses in
Yeah.
there.
Saren Ray doesn't
okay.
care about what you do with
Huh.
the bodies.
I am
As
straight
long
up.
as you don't raise them as undead.
Yep.
I am straight
Yet.
up 100 on the level here.
I know my gods a little bit.
Huh. All right. Well, all right. There you go. I guess Mocker's innocent. There you go, guys. You go ahead.
You guys have fun taking out eyeballs. I'm gonna do what little I can here for Calvin and so forth.
What little?
Look,
I also-
he's small and my tools are big. It should be fine.
Risky surgery. Roll 2d8 because he's small.
Risky surgery with a knife his size.
Oh my god. Please tell me that was a 7 on the die.
Yeah, that was. Don't worry about it. I'm
Okay.
just doing a trained on you. It's DC 15.
I thought it was a 1.
Yeah, that was a 7 on the die.
Like, and first death of the party.
My eyes are a little
Seven.
blurry right now. I got it. It's fine.
The DC is 15.
Why are you holding the syringe like that?
7 on the die plus 12 is 19.
Okay.
It's a success, so you get 48.
Yay. I
Which-
don't need 48.
You get 48.
Okay.
And you get a
11,
Can I get extra?
No.
I want temporary hit points.
24 plus 3.
Don't worry. I'm sure, like, in the myriad of forensic investigator,
wrong
there's
again.
something that does that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You give me 24 plus 3.
27 total.
Can you just give me 2 more and you give me literally all of my hit points back? From 0?
Not if I want to succeed. I do give you more than half your health on an expert check without rolling, though.
Yeah.
So we
May I
also
have a candy,
need the
please?
kidneys and the skin,
Just
is
take-
what it says here.
Okay.
Need what?
The Morlock skin?
Yes.
You need a kidney and a skin?
From
reason?
these, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't think
Why?
you're gonna get much out of that one.
Eat that, it'll make
These
you
all
feel better.
skin and bones. There might be some kidneys in there. I don't know.
That's
Are
gonna
you kidding me?
be 17.
17. Between the two eyeballs, you managed to harvest one of them successfully. And,
I don't do very well with the skin. I only get 14.
well, you get some strips.
Yeah, well, that's all I need. I need the.
There's not much room to work with.
There's not much room to work with.
row.
But in the time that you've spent, the productive time that you've spent here, we've
You sound
healed.
dubious about that. This is very important work.
Right. I'm not saying you weren't working. I'm saying it wasn't very productive.
Well, it's difficult. You know, they were beaten by a pole. Some of them are just missed.
You never know when this esoterica could save our lives.
Well, looking around the room, because you have plenty of time. You two have plenty of time to do that. You can see that there are 2 doors that are set into this room. One of them looks a bit neglected. There's some rubble that's kind of fallen in the way. There's some broken debris that's been kind of cast aside that wasn't able to be fully incorporated into the junk throne that was constructed. And it's kind of fallen in front of the door. It looks like the Morlocks never really used that door. The other door appears to be quite well traveled. It's opened. It looks to be opened and closed regularly. The area in front of it has been cleared so that the door has room to open. And you can see lots of evidence of traffic. Although no actual footprints. Like, it doesn't look like it's heavily trafficked, but it looks like, this is a door that was used, while the other door is certainly not used at all. Aside from that, you don't see any other exit from this room that isn't back the way you came.
Okay. I guess let's go back the way we came then.
Why would we not keep going past here?
I mean, we can.
I mean, this is where their king sat, so he's probably got a treasure room or something.
But
But
Don't we
There
want
might
to?
also be all this kind of debris and crap.
Don't we want to find your friends?
Of particular notice is that these Morlocks did not really have anything on them. Like, they had clubs that they had fashioned from junk.
Also,
And that's
very
it.
little skin.
And very, well,
They
yeah.
had that when we found them, and now they
Usual
don't. I wonder what happened.
Well, I think we should try. Look at this, the door less traveled. It could be leading to cool things.
Oh, all right, I guess we'll go through that door then.
Would we have to dig it out?
Not really so much. Well, I mean, Calvin would probably have to dig it out. Everyone else would just kind of have to like, kind of kick some junk aside.
Look, we open it enough, it's just going to push everything out of the way.
I've got it.
Feel free.
The door is, you kind of kick some of the junk out of the way, turn the door, and it opens fairly smoothly. Doors on this level seem to be mostly free of the ever-present moisture and rot that seems to permeate the first level on account of it being an open-air facility to the swamp. So the door opens quite well, and at first it's rather unimpressive. It appears to simply be an empty square room. But more careful inspection would show that there are carvings all over this room. The walls are all intricately carved with various designs that are not just the same thing repeated over and over again. There almost seem to be distinct sections of the walls here. It seems to be a part of a very complicated ritual. We might have some people who might be... Anyone recalling knowledge at the moment? Or who would care to switch their activities to
I can
recalling
switch
knowledge?
to it now that the Morlocks are dealt with. I was seeking for them, but now I'll go back to recalling.
Don't start going to the next room until we figure out what's in here.
I'm always
There does
recalling-
not appear to be any exit from this room, by the way.
Easy enough then, don't leave.
I'm always recalling knowledge.
You're always recalling.
If nothing pinged on detect magic rather quickly, then I would recall.
Nothing did ping on detect magic, so we can go ahead with some arcana or occultism would be the best, but you could use religion or nature also.
We have a plus 11 on Arcana.
You guys can roll it.
Okay.
What do you know?
So any of the magic traditions, essentially.
Yes, but arcana and occultism are easier.
Okay.
15 for occultism.
Same for Arcana.
Same for arcana, okay.
Yeah, I rolled poorly.
And what do we got?
28 on occultism or arcana, same number.
Well, which one are you using?
Occultism.
Okay.
18 on occultism.
Okay, and?
Oh,
Unless you're
are
just not
we-
rolling, you don't have to.
Well, I was still searching
All
or
right.
whatever seeking.
So,
Just in case
Still
something. I
patting down the Morlocks, trying to
gotta
find more
make
skin.
sure that there's no booby traps.
So the arcana is which we'll get with the DC 15 occultism, you said?
Yes.
And
Arcana.
for arcana, this was a it seems to be the focus of a very complicated ritual, and these carvings here were to harness the energies and also direct it at whoever happens to be here. Moreover, these carvings seem to be linked to really channel the energy as opposed to pull it into place. This is more of a control room, if you wanted to think of it that way, as opposed to when you were here, you would be controlling energy that was already present. That energy is entirely gone. It seems that this structure, whatever it is, even though it appears intact, is entirely unpowered. For both Admar and Corwin, however...
You mean Altamont?
Altamont, I'm
Wrong
sorry.
game.
Wrong game. Altamont and Corwin, however, this all kind of clicks together with that empty teleport circle that you found up on the first floor. What you can see between all of them, one of them actually, you recognize a rune pattern that would be duplicated there. And it appears that this room is a nexus of sorts that would allow you, if powered, to be able to instantly transport whoever was in this room to the location of the active teleport circle. Now, it's not active anymore. It seems that the magics have long vanished. However, if you were to find some way of reactivating it, it could provide invaluable routes to move throughout the Abomination vaults, depending on exactly how big these are. Looking around this room, though, with all of the different potential destinations that you can see carved onto the wall, the Abomination vaults are massive.
How many?
You had no concept of exactly how big this is.
I know what this room is. This is a mind control chamber. The master would sit in this room, and they would know where everybody was. And then they would control their brains to do exactly what they want. See, over here, this is where Altari is. That's where all of us are.
Well,
And we have a hero point for Paladin from Lucetius.
It's a pious puppy
what
point.
you got? What you got?
Pious puppies.
Catch your breath. Just take a moment, then get back in there.
He never takes any moments.
Good job, Scoob.
Have a scoop snack. So with all the confidence in the world, that is what Callum believes about this room. This is the mind control chamber.
This
where
could come in handy.
I mean, if we can get it working, sure, but I mean, it's pretty complex magic.
I mean, I don't. I hate.
Mocker can do anything. I trust in you, and I believe at the utmost we will figure this out.
I'm
Runs
actually.
out of energy.
I'm pretty sure it links to the teleportation network, actually. And judging by the number of rooms here, it's. This place is much vaster than I believed.
I mean,
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
You've lost me there.
we found at least 2 circles already, I think, plus this place and all these different connecting points. I mean,
Wait,
I think they just go here. I don't see anything about Atari or anything that looks like it on here.
No,
Maybe.
Now wait a minute.
Maybe.
Are you saying it ain't a mind control chamber? Because it really looks like a mind control chamber. Like
Yeah,
look
it's
at this squiggly over here.
It's
It looks like a brain, and he touches it, and it just is dust. He's like, oh,
Pull out
well,
a book.
never mind then.
Same runes.
It's a movement control chamber. I suppose you could think of it that way.
The question is,
A
how do you,
rave.
we
It
gotta,
is about control, though.
Yeah.
if you gotta have someone here to make it work, we'd have to find a way to we have to find someone to run it for us to get it working because they gotta send us to the circles.
Will we need a sacrifice?
No, we need an ally.
Like a
someone we
sacrifice,
can
but
trust.
not quite. Okay, I like it.
A living one that we don't threaten
Well,
and that we want to like us.
Well, one thing that you do know is that these teleportation circles, once they get up and running, they're pretty self-sufficient. So you wouldn't actually have to have someone in like a transporter room or something running controls to VoIP you guys around once it's up and running. If you have this, it's almost like you can just step into the room, say, take me to this place, and you'll just appear in that room.
Okay, so it's a fast travel point.
I mean, if you want to be lame about it,
yeah, if you want to be lame, my gosh. First of all, we
this
need
is
a
the
sacrifice
dungeon
so we can-
elevator.
Yeah.
Can I estimate
That's
by
what
the
I called it
number
earlier.
of runic centers how many places there might be?
The problem is that it's not so much that they're easily, this goes to teleporter A, this
Okay.
goes to teleporter B. It's more like the carvings as you look at them used occultism, right? They run off of a system of sympathies. So what you would be, when declaring a place to go, you would be activating carvings in the room that are of sympathetic nature to the destination you're trying to get to. You don't just go with, if this was more
Press this
Arcana
button.
side, it would be bring me to these coordinates in the material plane, and it would whoop, whoop, it would pick up the locating beacon, and you'd carve a path through space to get there. With occultism, it's not so much. You're almost relying on cosmic gravity to be able to fall sideways to get there. So you would be triggering the sympathetic connections represented by the runes, both the objects and the thoughts and the concepts represented by the runes to get you there.
I'm not gonna try to explain that to Calvin.
I'm pretty sure it's
Travel
still.
by feels.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still based off that weird Aklo language we keep running into. The whole hierarchy and how things relate to one another rather than function.
Well, most importantly, this room is a dead end, so I think we're going to need to turn
For
around.
now.
Now keep your eyes out for any giant sources of power laying about.
That sounds like Nil might be seeking.
Yes.
Yeah, swapping back to Seeking
Looking
here.
for batteries.
I have been seeking this whole time.
Checking all the trash cans for coins.
What
turn
are the
around
rest
and-
of you all doing as you move through these dungeons?
Before we leave, just gonna mark the door so we know, hey, this is where the teleport chamber was when we come back.
There you go.
Mark it with your lumberjack teleport symbol.
Well, it's gonna be a circle and an arrow pointing at it. It's real
Yes.
simple. Location, you go here.
It's like it looks like a little sunny side egg, upside egg, and then a little upside down V, and a little man getting pushed up into the air.
What about the cow?
Cow, yeah.
Yeah.
No, stop!
No,
I
that,
forgot about it. Now that's all I can think about.
that's
doing
what
the
Calvin
big- I'm
tries
doing
to
the
make
big
it
thing.
into.
I'm
Big thing?
recalling knowledge.
All right, excellent. I believe we have seek,
2
recall
seek, 2
knowledge.
recalls, 1 detect magics
Detect
are
magic.
pretty standard.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, well, your 2 choices are the other door that you have not been through, and back the way you came if you'd care to go that way.
Other door's been used more often, and if, well, the boys got down here and they found them, they might have them further in.
I don't remember any forks in the path till we got
There was
here.
one.
There was, back when we came down, there was a way to go right. There was like some other doors, but we got jumped pretty immediately.
We chose the knife instead of the fork.
We might as well finish while we're here.
Yeah. Nothing's come up behind us so far, so it seems pretty safe.
So you go and push that door open. And the first thing that hits you is stench. It smells like a slaughterhouse. And not... yeah, right?
I don't think that's a bad thing for me either, honestly.
Not a well-kept slaughterhouse either. This is a slaughterhouse that, is not up to code, shall we say. The room apparently used to be a kitchen, and it's sizable. This looks like a kitchen that was designed to feed dozens and dozens of people. Evidence of long counters, a massive stove and fireplace, long tables, which apparently have been smashed into scrap and had most of their sturdy pieces carted away, likely to form the structural supports for the throne in the other room. And where the largest section of the kitchen counter has been rebuilt up into what looks to be an altar of sorts. Gruesome, most gruesome about it is that an effigy of a large woman has been constructed.
Like, is it a big statue or is she a large woman?
It's an effigy, so it's the statue kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not really like a perfect resemblance. It's built out of scrap, but it's also built out of bones and flesh, skin, flayed skin. The timbers have been dyed with the blood of slain animals, possibly people. And a great care has actually been taken on the face. It seems that the Morlocks, even though they work with junk and scrap, if they put their mind to it, they can be fairly artistic. And the face that is represented is very reminiscent of a certain portrait you walked past before.
Folklore it is.
Exactly. And this figure is looming up, has been constructed to loom up over the altar. Over which is probably the most gruesome thing in the room, which is a butchered corpse that is stretched out and laying out on the altar. It appears that this is a shrine to the Ghost Queen that the Morlocks have constructed, and they have been providing sacrifices to their Ghost Queen goddess.
Brother, we must lay it to rest, right?
That's not one of your buddies, is it?
That's what I'm gonna go check.
Well, going up and looking, it is appears to be a human male who does not appear to have any readily identifiable gear on him. The corpse appears to have, if he had anything on him, it was all taken away. However, one thing you do find is the tattoo of a bird on his right shoulder. Clear trademark of trusted agents of the Osprey Club. This is definitely one of Ynyasmera's associates. Apparently met a terrible end here.
Gonna look at the body. Well, see if we can find anything in here that was theirs, because that's definitely one of them.
You
I'll go
recognize
straight to
him,
the stomach.
actually. And you never really were friends, but you'd seen him around.
Yeah. That's most of the types at the Osprey Club. You don't really want to interact with them too much.
No touching this one. We gotta take him back as proof.
I don't think you're really going to be getting him back stretched as he is.
Is
Well-
he like tied to this table? Was it like a medieval stretcher torture device thing?
Nothing so, nothing so, I guess, involved, really.
Sophisticated.
It looks like he was either held here and butchered on the altar, or certainly there's no, like, chains or anything holding them down. It looks like whatever ritual took place here was relatively brief and violent, although certainly the wounds are fairly ritualistic. Some effort was made to, carve out organs to offer to the goddess. That's
Look at the
above them.
care. Look at the precision.
There's none of that here. This was as extremely direct as they could get it.
There
We got
are
a nicked artery there. There's a portion of the kidney that cut off there.
Very precise.
Not
very
at all.
Precise.
It was not very precise.
very
no.
precise. They
No.
put immense care into
They did
look
not.
at this.
None of
Besides,
it was.
we only need what? We need the head and the tattoo. And
We
what
don't
do we
need any
the
of
rest
that.
it? Oh.
One thing
Nichols
that
got her butcher knife out. Like, what do we mean? Just a head, right?
Just gotta look at the statue a moment.
audible disappointment.
Looking at how this thing's built.
It is built relatively sturdily, actually. It seems
you
more
say
care is put into
that.
this than the throne. But one thing that draws all of your attentions as you kind of
Besides the
possibly
body, yeah.
relievedly look away from the body is laid out on the altar around the body appear to be a number of offerings. Some of these look like they're little icons that have been crafted from scrap, which is basically junk. But there are a few items that do kind of pop out at you as being, well, potentially quite valuable. You see a bloodstone, which is quite sizable and well polished. Should fetch a good price. Anyone who wants to take that, that's worth 10 gold if you sell it back in town. You also find a green gem that's pulsing with a light that kind of sets you at a bit unease just to see it. And there's a small stone that seems to be inscribed with a very simple but direct rune through which Calbum is going to detect a magical aura around
the
that
gem
stone.
does not detect magic.
It does, actually, but they're both right next to each other. You'd have to kind of space one out to be like, is this
Right.
outside the aura? How about now? Okay. And
I'm gonna walk 20 feet away.
The time where you
Do
go
you have
read
read
aura
aura?
instead of detect
I
magic.
don't.
except that takes 10 minutes.
I may regret asking this, but read psychometric resonance on the room.
Give me a will save.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought, but
Your bones are about to explode.
what else is new?
Well, you know what happened to that guy? That's what you're about to experience.
That's an 18 on the die for a total of a 25.
Okay. So you read psychometric resonance in the room.
Almost a regular failure. I'm so sorry.
So close.
And you're immediately overcome with it's a fear mixed with an exhaustion. It's not so much like this is fresh. It seems that this person was here long enough to understand what situation they were in and to come with some kind of terms with it, although certainly not entirely, because there's plenty of weak struggling you sense, shouted pleas, but that are tired ones. That's kind of a weariness pervades all of this, and of course sharp pain, none too quick, unfortunately, but sharp pain, repeated terror, and a great deal of agony, kind of with a slow eventual fade out into nothingness. As it goes, you also detect the more sharp fear tinged with resentment, tinged with regretful worship that must have come from the Morlocks themselves. It seems like, though they worship this ghost queen, they were incredibly afraid of her, and that these rituals may have been more designed to placate the queen than to draw her attention.
You'll actually see some tears run down Ultimoc's face, as he seems to contemplate the room. He doesn't usually have this much of an emotional reaction when he does this, but he looks bereft. Like, he sincerely regrets whatever he just saw.
Still super hot, though.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's smoking.
Striking a very...
You got the bad
pose.
boy, like, Disney band pose, just one tear going down the eye on the album cover.
Abs are absolutely glistening.
What is it, Mucker?
One thing also that kind of seems to draw you is you can sense the satisfied command of the king echoing with this, which would seem to indicate he was taken from the throne room here and not from somewhere else. Because looking around, you can actually see 2 more exits from the from this room.
Torture
that
chamber.
isn't where you were going for. Well, one of the exits is painted, and it's actually, this exit would be difficult to see were it not for all of the designs painted on the walls around it. There is a painted image, kind of slapdash, but very reminiscent of the figure in this room. And runes are scribbled over it in worship of the Ghost Queen. May she avert her eyes from us. And this door has, looking at what's in front of it, it looks like they don't open this door. The other door exits into, from what you can tell, appears to be a normal door with nothing else around it. But the door that has the painting around it would have blended into the wall fairly seamlessly were it not for all of the runes painted over it.
The painted door is where they keep all their firstborn children.
We can
So
check
that the
through
ghost
that
just
one
passes
later.
by.
For now, it's time to say
No, sir.
goodbye to the statue.
I agree.
Whoa. Wow. Seems a bit extreme. They put a lot of work into this.
Just
That
giving
sure
a
is a
look at
shame.
it. Giving a look at it. Just
Reload
crafting check.
shotgun.
Crafting check? Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
want to, go ahead and
You
roll
have a
it, and
shotgun?
what do you want to learn about it?
It's a
hammer.
gift.
So, Corwin's just going to give this thing a
Oh,
look
shame.
with a 17 on the die plus 9 for a 26. And just kind of look towards the legs
Uh-huh.
and see which one's weakest at a point where he could just kick something out, collapse.
No, this isn't like a statue was standing on legs. This is a construction built of piled scrap. It's not going to be nearly so easy to take apart.
Is it like wooden scrap, hay? Is it metal? Is
I'm
it
gonna try-
It
all
is-
of the above.
It's wood, it's metal, it's bones, it's flesh.
I'm gonna try and do exactly what he did, but instead of looking carefully,
gonna-
I'm gonna use a hammer.
We're going to be here a sec. If you try and smash it, just go for the head.
The head is out of your reach. It looms over you.
That's impressive.
I'm gonna,
big.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna kneecap it and see what happens.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
How tall is this room?
19 athletics, I assume, to break it.
Oh yeah. Roll 19. You start whacking into this thing. It's like trying to knock down a wood pile with your hammer.
It's a 22 if you want an attack roll. I'm assuming athletics.
Yeah, this is going to be athletics. You are hitting it isn't a problem. It's a large inanimate object. It's about the broadside of a barn.
I will take the time needed to make sure that this thing goes down.
Okay.
So looking up, is this a closed room? The reason I'm asking is if I set a fire in this room, are we gonna die in it?
Well, closed room. I mean, you are a fair ways underground. There is an oven here, which theoretically should be vented. There should be a chimney, right? You
Right.
have no idea what condition the chimney is in 500 years.
So I turn on the kitchen hood like in a commercial kitchen.
Fan starts.
Yeah, just sucking out all the smoke. We're
there
good.
you go.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
it should be fine, right?
Yeah, I'll just set this thing on fire.
Just go ahead and find the suite. Setting it on fire, certainly something you could try to do it looks like you want to make a concerted effort to try to take this thing apart.
Yep.
Okay. You can, just hacking away at it with athletics is going to be fairly unproductive. You want to give me a crafting check for Calbum, I guess? So you're the only one who hasn't checked at it yet, who seems to be focusing on taking it apart.
Sure. That's 20.
Total?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it. You could find pieces. You could start directing Drevin's actions to sort of like, okay, pull this out now and don't stand here. And so between the two of you, it would probably take about a half an hour of like actually like pulling this down. Because the thing is, once you pull it down, it doesn't just fall away into nothing. You now have debris that has to go somewhere. And so you're going to have to make sure that you can still navigate the room. So it turns into quite a production.
What's inside the oven?
Inside the oven?
How big is it?
The oven is pretty sizable. Like, you could fit, like, a lot of stuff in here, honestly, if you want to, like, bake a lot of bread or something like that.
I would like to try to see if...
You both have, like, 30 minutes, by the way, while they're working.
I have plans.
You guys can do whatever you want.
You can go first.
So I would, I see Mocker is a little bit overwrought here. Mocker, look. And I will, like, reach all the way into the bottom of one of the pockets of, like, this kind of coat thing. All the way into the bottom and pull out this, like, you've seen it before, and you know kind of generally that it's, like, my favorite book. It's like a kind of a crisp edge to it, really well kept considering the rest of the things that I have. And I'll like thumb through the pages. Remember, and I'll open it up and show it, and this looks so similar. And it's not quite the same. Obviously, it's not of this woman in particular, but it's got like the same general layout. It's got like a stone tablet, a person on top of the tablet, some runes around here, a shrine in the back. It's another recipe they were trying to cook. This is all food.
Mocker, wanna give me a... I'll let you use religion. I'll let you use esoteric lore. Hell, yeah, if you want to use that.
Meanwhile, I'm loading anything that's flammable into the oven.
Okay.
As we pull it apart, we're just loading it in the oven and setting it on fire.
Okay.
7 on the die for a 17 on my esoteric lore.
17 on the esoteric lore. You're looking at this. Doesn't look like a recipe that you've ever seen. It looks like a ritual sacrifice. But looking into it, you can see where it does mention consuming certain parts. It's a pretty grim
It's the
ritual.
Anarchist cookbook.
I mean, in all honesty, like, I collect everything I find and I don't judge it. So, I mean, if this is just something that she collected...
Well, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's something that's kind of like, oh, yeah, I watch true crime dramas. And then there's something that's kind of like, yeah, I have the serial killer's manifesto here. You have no idea how hard this was to get.
Yeah, I watch true crime documentaries.
Let me show you my favorite part. Like,
This is an original copy.
It's a little...
Blood is real.
It's a little... it's a little off-putting just from like, like even from someone who like collects weird stuff, that's kind of like,
That's a bit specific.
That's an interesting thing you got there, kind of thing.
No, that's... I don't mean to diminish your book in any way, because I know how special it is to you. But it's...
You're saying you don't think it's a recipe?
No. I think it's...
Is it how they bless their food?
No.
Kind of look over and see if Mocker just kind of giving this head shake. No.
You're probably pretty focused on your task, I would assume. There's a lot to go on.
We've got 30 minutes.
Just kind of like look over,
but I
don't know what's going on over there.
The clanging and the breaking. I don't hear a single thing you're saying.
I'm just seeing him shake his head. Just what?
Mocker, while he's listening to Nil, is going to be can we light a fire in this thing without choking ourselves to death?
Callum seems to think so.
That's the question, isn't it?
Didn't ask that question. Already happening in the oven.
It appears that he's trying to use it to dispose of the more flammable bits that this thing is made out of. Flipping that switch, that hood fan's not coming on, it seems. It probably would have been good to do that before you lit it on fire.
Too late now.
But it's,
tell me what happened.
It's a smoking. Well, we'll start with Drevin. Go ahead and make a fortitude save, Drevin. Because the room is starting to fill up with smoke.
Oops, guys. My bad.
You got frost magic, don't you?
Not prepared today.
Yeah,
17.
Ray of Frost, a bonfire. We'll see how well that goes.
How did
17.
what?
17.
You had it today.
So
I did,
your
actually.
eyes start. You kind of have to squint through the smoke. Your eyes start to sting a bit, and like kind of cough a bit. You kind of have to come down, take a breath before you can get back up here to get a good stance to try to keep ripping pieces off of this statue. But the smoke starts to get really, really thick.
I mean, I'm not sticking around after the room starts to fill up with smoke.
Yeah,
The statue can wait for later.
This is probably your cue to leave, you would think. As Drevin starts to, like, his eyes are watering, he's holding his nose and kind of coughing a bit. How are you exiting the room? You want to go back into the throne room?
Back the way we came. I'm not going deeper and letting smoke trap me in a cave.
Really? You sure you don't want to do that?
No.
All right, so you make your way. Drevin stumbles back into the throne room. Kind of like watching that, you know, it looks like whatever they're up to, it's not ending too well for them.
Where are you going, bud?
You'll see in a minute. Let the smoke get a little lower.
Gotta get way lower.
Yeah, around this time, Mocker's eyes start to sting a bit too, as this smoke is starting to kind of get to you.
No need to tear up. I know it's a moving scene.
I'll see if
It's gonna get unpleasant here within short notice.
I want to see if I can go. So I have a fire blanket. Can I go try to put it out?
You have a fire blanket.
Yeah.
So let me just
It's
correct
an
you.
entire-
You have a blanket.
Yeah, man.
We'll start with that. It's not a fire
But I'm
blanket.
gonna put some water on it and see if I can use
Well,
it.
That says fire blanket.
What? I mean, if you want to use supply, I'll let you have a fire blanket.
Cool,
It's-
done.
It's in the oven. I closed the oven doors.
There's a fire blanket in the
Yeah,
oven.
and that doesn't seem to be stopping the smoke.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm gonna go see if I
Fire
can
or
quench the
bonfire?
fire.
Well, okay. So there's been a fair bit of stuff in here, and you have a blanket that's for one person that you can soak with a water skin, which
Yep.
isn't like soaky soak, but and it's not like it's easy to smother because it's in an oven. But excuse me. But if you would like to try,
Is the smoke getting to you?
Suave, our suave.
I have no
GM
idea
over
what this would be. Make me a case for something to roll here.
Esoteric lore, because this is a really weird situation.
So I am going to see if I can maneuver this thing in here with a little bit of force and very forcefully tamp it down.
Sounds like
It's
athletics you're
yeah.
going for. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Go for it. Weirdo shenanigans.
You said this is a commercial kitchen, right?
I mean, it's
Ish.
big. It's designed to service.
it's
the
up to
whole
industrial standards.
Is there, yeah, it's
So
prestige.
that's a 6 on the die, but it's a total of a 16.
thing. Okay, so a total of a 16. You're in here trying to put this fire out. It's the water that you're soaking this blanket with. You're just not making enough progress, and pretty soon it doesn't take long for the corner of your blanket to catch fire. The water has been entirely evaporated out of it. What protection it had is gone. You spent supply for a fire blanket, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the blanket itself, you're able to salvage the blanket. You're able to
Okay.
pull it out, but even though it's incredibly fire resistant, it's been treated and woven with tough fibers that resist burning. It is still you're not going to be able to put out an oven. You just can't get enough of it. The oven's actually vented from more than just the front door. It's got vents to come in so that you can, the fire doesn't go out and smother itself. So the oven's construction is working against you.
Looking up there, does it look like...
Give me a fortitude save.
Okay.
And your eyes are starting to itch a bit.
The second Drevin started coughing, he's leaving the room.
Okay,
Okay, that's a 4 on the die, so we're going to go with 12.
a 12. You're actually
Unconscious.
coughing very, very hard. Your eyes are tearing up. You're blinded right now, and you're kind of staggering
I'm
back.
leaving.
Give me a
Trying
survival
to
check.
leave.
So I'm still holding on to Najee, and Najee doesn't have eyes. Can he help me get out of the room?
So, Najee technically has dark vision, but smoke is obscuring his vision, but maybe he might be able to help.
Okay.
Still a survival check, though.
Okay.
Trying to keep your sense of direction here.
Oh, it's a 19 on the die.
Okay, fair enough.
He can see perfectly fine.
What's your total?
A 19.
So you draw Najee and hold him low under the smoke. And Najee, mocking you the entire time. I can't believe you're losing a fight with an oven.
Najee has a +2 to survival, I'll have you know.
Yeah, Najee can see, holding him down under the smoke, he can see just fine. He directs you stumbling and coughing out into the, back out into the throne room.
Good job.
And
Way to set us on fire.
You are not blinded anymore once you're out, but you are dazzled from your eyes constantly watering.
Is there any source of water in this?
Looking around.
My goal was not to fill the room with smoke. It was to set the shit on fire. So I probably would have stopped loading it as it became very evident.
I'd say this entire room has really been kind of, instead of an effigy to Belcor, it's an effigy to unintended consequences.
Yeah.
It's become a Serenite ritual.
Yeah, there you go. Looking around,
It is a proper burial.
you're kind of a little hard pressed to find any like standing water or anything.
It's okay. We'll just wait for it to go out. It'll happen eventually.
There's dead
At the
flesh
moment,
and plenty of wood.
only Nil and Calbum are still in the room, but that smoke's getting lower. Nil, you're gonna run into trouble pretty soon if you stick around.
Well, Callum, very wistful, glancing at the burning statue, just watching it. Well, all good things must come to an end. Ready to head out?
I guess so.
Well,
And
solemnly
completely
walk.
free of smoke.
Solemnly walk.
The
yes.
short kings of
Yeah.
the Abomination Vault party.
It's a solemn time for us.
Wide walk out of the room. At this point, you can actually see that the smoke has gotten so low it's starting to spill out into the throne room.
And
so
I would
it
close my
looks
book and put it back.
probably close that door might be a good idea. You might think.
We did close the oven.
It's not
And-
stopping the smoke from
It
coming
is
out
not
of the
stopping
vents.
the
I
smoke.
didn't say that. Just
You
said
close that
we're
door.
Now we're continuing to
Yeah.
feed this fire. It will eventually go out.
It should burn out eventually. Of course.
We didn't load it with a ton of stuff.
You will load it with a fair amount of stuff.
I know. I'm saying we did, but I'm not trying to
So you close the door, and it seems as though further advancement down this way is probably not going to be very healthy, at least for a while.
I guess we'll go the other way.
You can backtrack your way out, and you'll end up back at what it looks like an office, as you recall, where there's a broken clockwork servitor that was slumped behind the desk. I believe one of you managed to pry a gear out of it, right?
Yeah.
The really valuable one.
the president.
The
president, yeah.
Presidential
Mr.
seal.
President, Mr. President. And there is another door that you hadn't gone through. You pursued the Morlocks that were fleeing through the open door, so that they retreated down the trapped hallway to regroup in the throne room. But another door exists, closed, but signs of traffic around the door. It looks like there's been some movement here.
I would put away. As where I was leaving the room.
Mocker, you are still dazzled, by the way. Eyes still like very stinging. Tears are kind of rolling down your face constantly. You got a really bad face full of smoke.
Now you're doing the Rain album cover.
It's very poignant to watch him weep like this. It makes his good looks all the more obvious and his plight all the more sad.
Yeah, it's not quite so much like the, crying tears in the rain kind of thing. It's eyes puffy from irritation, but, you still make it look good. Mocker still makes it look good.
The flaws only accentuate the rest of the absolute flawless beauty.
Absolutely.
It's not real. I want you to know. The sadness. It's not real.
No, it's probably all the smoke in your eyes.
Yeah. I didn't want you to get upset.
I don't think I can get more upset right now. I don't think that's a state I can actually, like, mentally, like, process.
Okay,
You are
now
so
I'm a little
frustrated, you can hardly contain yourself.
upset. I guess we
It's
should go through
more
the next
that-
door.
Angry enough that you just can't, like, get to the point to be angry. It's not worth the effort. Because there's nothing you can do about the thing that made you angry.
Fair enough.
Gonna go on ahead and open the door now.
All right, the door opens up fairly well. Corwin, give me a perception check.
Is this against a trap?
It is.
Okay. That's a nat one.
Oh no.
Perfect. So,
Just too upset to even bother looking. Just
let's see here. That's going to be a 20 to hit Drevin. Does that work?
Well, as I don't even know it's there, it will impact the solid chunk of breastplate and do nothing.
A bolt of, not really a properly forged bolt, but a large, basically chunk of scrap is launched from a crossbow-like device, which appears to have been viced down onto a workbench, aiming at the door with a string running up to the door. It has launched a chunk of debris which clangs into your breastplate, making you take a step back from the impact. But otherwise, no damage. It's good to have the guy wearing full steel to walk into a room first, apparently.
Yeah, they're walking down a hallway full of these things and eating all of them when you could let the metal do it for you.
You know, yes, he's learning. He's learning, apparently. Either that or he's just the smoke in his eyes making him slow.
before
Or
we
he
go
would've
walking
dived into
around,
this.
let me take a look inside from the spot that we at least know has already gone off.
They
Feel
really
free.
do. They really do like those.
Looking around, you don't see anything else that's been rigged up. It looks like this is a workshop which has signs of it being hastily abandoned. It looks like whoever was here got the heck out quick. You do see the signs of that this was apparently where Morlocks were working on stuff. You can see broken bits of machinery and gears that are been cobbled together. That you see this crossbow assembly appears to have been cobbled together from a lot of different pieces and look quite intricate, actually. There's a large ballista, half finished, in front of one of these workbenches, and you can see signs of whatever design, if you want to call it that they were using to try to reconstruct this thing appears to have been revised a number of times with more breakage and needing of additional scrap to kind of bring on the next stage of the design. All in all, it looks like an absolute scattered mess. However, it is a fully stocked workshop, so there might be something useful here.
Where were they thinking they were gonna take? It doesn't fit through the door.
Yeah, it looks like they hadn't quite thought that far out, actually.
They're about as smart as Calvin was.
They assembled it in
That room.
pieces in here, and then you're like, all right, great.
Now
Wait a
what?
minute.
Crap.
It will guard this doorway.
Yeah, it's-
Certainly it strikes you that as if this thing shot through the doorway when Drevin had walked in,
We'd
he
all be
probably
dead.
wouldn't have been tanking it quite so well.
It would go through Drevin, and then it would go through Altabach, and then it would go through Corwin, and then it would splatter Calvum.
Yeah.
Moreover, this room has two exit doors, one of which appears to just be a normal door, which is closed and appears well traveled, and the other door has been blockaded with large amounts of scrap. Got giant boards, fallen beams, upturned furniture, has just kind of been pushed up against this door to keep it closed.
That's your door.
How much you want to bet that's where the, what was it, ghouls they said?
I'd bet whatever it is in there is being kept out by that, so if we don't take it out of the way, it ain't gonna come from behind us if we go further.
Yeah, we can't exactly go the other way.
Yeah, we can.
Yet.
I guess we go through the normal door then.
A problem
Yep.
that will fix itself in time is not really a problem.
Patience. It's fine.
If you're choking on an ice cube, just wait.
It figures the immortal member of the party doesn't consider it a hindrance.
Listen, he sets fires in his own cave all the time. It never gets that smoky. It's fine. He made a mistake. bad judgment. Is anything in this workshop pinging off as magical, or is, I mean, does it look tossed, or is it just like abandoned?
It looks abandoned quickly. Maybe some things were taken, but there is still plenty of things here. You could probably, looking around the workshop, you could assemble a full set of artisan's tools, which might not necessarily be very useful for you here, but certainly, you know, the tools might be a bit rough, but they're functional. You could probably sell them for something useful back in town.
Might as well collect them. I mean, if we find another statue we need to disassemble, those will come in handy.
Yeah,
Plus, if we find another president we need to take care of.
that's true.
I thought we already did that.
I said another.
Sniffing
There
around.
could be two presidents.
Sniffing
two
around the
candidates.
doors.
There's always two presidents.
Do I get any
Secret
smells?
I'll tell you
president.
about
Yeah,
the one I
yeah, the
don't.
secret president.
That's right.
Water. You smell water.
Is there
Behind the
water?
the block door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there water like coming under the door at all? Or just I smell water.
You smell water.
Do we hear water?
No, you don't, but he smells water.
I'll give the door a couple like just knocks.
No answer.
I wouldn't expect an answer unless there were ghouls who were mindless and wanted to come like start banging like zombies at a door.
Fair
Does
enough.
it look? Does the door look like any of the ones upstairs that are like water bulged?
Nope. Seems to be in fine shape. Looks like it's used. Like the Morlocks
Go through
used
here.
it. Yeah.
I found the water you were looking for.
Keep an eye out. They might, if they ran off that direction. I mean, they might have put more of those little crossbow things up.
This door looks very well traveled. We could go down here first.
I mean, I'm not saying we uncover the other ones, keeping out whatever's behind it. So, yeah,
Wait,
safe.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Does he smell water behind the blocked, like looks like it's barricaded door, or behind the like well-traveled door?
My impression of what he was asking me about was the well-traveled door, the normal door that's not blockaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's water behind that.
He smells water behind that door.
I like
okay.
it. Let's go. Thirsty.
Well, I'll open the door again.
Open the door from the side of the door.
I'll stand.
No
at the
one
side of the
stand in
door
front of the door.
and open
I
the
don't stand
door.
in front of doors.
No crossbows.
Well, there's no crossbows at the
fling
watering
darts
hole?
coming
Wow.
out of you. There's no sign of that. What you can see in the center of this room, it's fairly small actually, is a well.
Problem solved.
There's actually a well. There's with a winch hanging over it. There's no sign of a rope or chain or bucket in this room. Looks like that might have been lost a long time ago. But the well itself, you can smell the water coming up from it. It's very evident to you. The moist quality of it, the minerals in the water really kind of tang your nose specifically. The rest of you, now the door is open, noticeable change in the air. You can smell the water. You've been in this dry underground dungeon. You open this door and the quality of the air is entirely different. Also of note is a haphazardly discarded pile of adventuring gear. Looking through it, you can find.
Is there rope?
There is no rope, but
Fools.
you do see there are 4 sets of studded leather armor.
Okay.
There are 3 rapiers, 1 broken rapier, 4 sets of thieves' tools in various stages of disrepair. You can see a small pouch which jingles. Opening it up, you can find 13 gold pieces worth of cash. And there's a small bottle which is clearly labeled from the general goods store in Otari. Normally you'd have to go and identify this, but coming from this store, you recognize it as a lesser healing potion, which is sold in that store.
Neat.
It appears that you have found the equipment of the Osprey Club agents who made their way here.
To clarify, there are 3 good rapiers, 1 broken rapier.
Correct.
Got it.
So, should I guess I'll look down the well.
Hold on a sec. Step back into the workshop, grab a random piece of strap, walk back in, drop it down the well.
Falls
1,
for a bit,
2,
and then it goes
3, 4. Fair fall.
It's a fair fall. You wouldn't want to jump down there. Peering down there, even with a light source, you cannot see the bottom. But who's my seekers in this room? Give me perception checks.
Oh, I'm not very perceptive in here. That would be a 12 total, 2 on the die.
12 total. That echoes of the room and the chatter of your companions mask anything you might pick up.
17 total.
17 total. You can hear something very distant, which sounds like muffled conversation or something.
Down the
It's
well or further?
Down the well. There's no exit from this room other than the way you came in. But down the well, it sounds very faint. It's possible that there's something down there, or it could be a trick of the caverns. You're not sure.
Did it
Wouldn't be dumb enough to just jump down there without their gear.
Did it start before or after he dropped the rock? down?
You don't hear it whatsoever.
I was just asking a clarifying question as a meta.
I see. He hadn't noticed.
I can hear someone down there. Can't make out what they're saying. I could try calling out to them, but that might just let whatever's down there know that we're up here.
Doesn't matter if they know.
If they can get up, it does.
Well, if they can get up, I'll just knock them back down.
Well, be at the ready just in case. I don't know how they would have gotten them down there, like with their gear and whatnot up here.
How big of what?
They're probably wet.
Yeah, you could fit a medium-sized creature down it. It'd be tight, but you could do it.
Okay.
So I just drop down and sparks fly.
Stop. Just stop.
Would he know? Would Corwin know anything of the Osprey Club, like just sayings that they would say, like at the club specifically?
You have lore underworld.
No,
You
but I do
spend-
have good society.
You spend enough time now. I'll let you roll society to higher difficulty.
Would it be could a Lore Atari work as well?
Yes, I'll let you use lore Otari. It'll be better than society, but not as good as underworld.
No idea. That one.
That one.
No clue.
Mine was a total of a 20 with an 11 on the die.
You're going to jail.
Caldum knows of. He recalls something that's sort of like a street slang that's common around Otari. That's a, and it's kind of used almost like a half secret handshake, half I'm a cool kid saying this kind of thing. But you do know that the rougher sorts of folks will kind of use that as like a calling card kind of thing. And it's birds fly south over the swamp is what it's called. You're not really sure what it's supposed to mean or even like how it works, but you do know that kind of the rougher types will use that expression.
Have you ever heard anybody say,
Sorry, birds fly south over
Birds
the
fly
swamp?
south over the swamp.
you ever heard anybody say that?
Can't say I have. Most of the time, they're busy yelling in my ear about how much money I owe them.
I hear people in the streets when I'm walking to the library to get my books. That's them rough types.
It's
in
worth
the
a
middle of
shot.
the night, they say stuff like that. So maybe they would know stuff like that because these guys are supposed to be rough, right?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are more sneak thief kind of folk. Breaking and entering.
Less desirable folk.
Yeah. Well, better than nothing. At least they'll probably know what it is, and most things in here won't. Just lean over the well and
Doesn't
cup
that
his
apply to
hands.
speaking common in the first place?
I can't tell what they're speaking. I can hear muttering, but I don't even know if it's common.
No, most things down here don't speak common.
Yeah, fair enough. Just yell it out in common down the well.
Okay. The conversation stops for a moment, and then it continues, almost exactly the same.
Trying to listen in closer, see if I can catch it.
It's kind of a bit beyond you. If anyone else wants to try to listen that hasn't rolled already.
I'll just bark down the well. Hey, is this your stuff up here?
Again, it kind of gets a little quiet, and you hear a sloshing sound. And then that same kind of muttering kind of comes up. Curiously enough, the timbre doesn't seem to change. It seems to be exactly the same. It's odd. It's not what you'd expect.
We rolled perception to hear what's
Yes.
going
I'm gonna grab the broken rapier and throw it down there.
Don't.
For a bit, and then sploosh.
Well, it's broken. None of us are gonna use it.
Yeah, but she's gonna want her stuff back one way or another.
We
And now
just-
we owe her a rapier.
I rolled a 25 with an 18 on the die.
25. So you hear this. All right. So
I speak a bunch of languages too, so
this is not speech. This is phonemes of a language that are being said. So it almost sounds like someone speaking in tongues,
okay.
where they're saying words using grammatical structures and pronunciation of a language, but there's no
Simlish.
rhyme or reason that you can put them together
Simlish is a
for.
good way to describe it.
Exactly. So that's what you're hearing. It is not speech whatsoever. Whatever's down there does not appear to be an intelligent language speaker.
That's the secret language, y'all. It's the secret language, but it ain't a people. It's like a mind-controlled thing, so don't listen too hard.
You
Not
think
even
everything's
listening.
trying to control your mind.
It
I'm
is.
starting to not believe you.
It's got a certain glossial appeal. You know, it's you know, you could kind of little ASMR quality to it coming up the well.
Perhaps we just go through the door and we don't listen to the strange voices coming up from the well.
Well, now it's an ASMR
Well,
stream.
let me gather up their stuff. I ain't going out of the well. There's not a safe way down there, save for handing Drevin a rope and having him pull me back up.
We're going
What?
through the door.
Question before we, well, you can go through the
I'm
room.
going.
Did I, as I was looking around the room, the previous room, the
Workshop?
Because I was gathering all those little artisan tools or whatever as I was going through.
Mhm.
Was there a bucket in there,
Um,
or is there a bucket at the well?
There's no bucket at the well. You'd have to improvise something, and even if you did improvise something, there's no chain or rope to lower it by.
I have a rope.
Then you have rope. That's great. That could work. You'd have to improvise some kind of bucket. You'd have to build it, basically.
Yeah, not enough time.
I have a
If we
cup.
want to check it later,
Cup.
once we find the guys, if we want to check it later, we can bring a bucket with us.
I have an idea.
We're not throwing anyone down the well.
Tie a torch to a rope and lower it down so we can see.
I mean, sure, but they ain't down there, and I don't much care for what is.
Agreed.
Call it morbid curiosity.
Well, you guys do that. I guess.
I don't want to call nothing morbid.
Was Mocker gonna go try to open that other door?
I'll have him look at it first.
Careful the
Oh, no. Feel free. Feel free. We know where this
What
goes.
Careful the
happened to that
crossbows,
confidence?
cousin.
What happened to that confidence of the man who walked down that hallway when
Every
he knew?
step.
40 step, all
Yeah.
40 feet of that
You
shit.
already got three
Crossbow.
holes in you, and you seemed real thankful for me fixing the last three, so just take a fourth one. I'm sure I can fix that too.
There can't possibly be another
There
step.
can't be five, right?
What are the odds?
Look, I took all of those bolts for the love of all of you, and this is how you repay me.
Terrible.
Yeah, and I fixed them all and got no thanks for it and credit given to someone else. So how you think it feels?
I ate your candy. It was tasty.
Whoop-dee.
You need a big athletics check to clear the debris away from the door.
I can do that.
In the meantime, you light a
Woe
torch
to
and
be
lower
upon
it
you.
down on your rope. And peering down the well, nothing really, you don't see anything but the shimmering of water off the surface of water comes up the well. It's quite deep, but, you know, you can see the bottom. It's not bottomless.
16.
16, it takes you about 5 minutes of hauling the stuff away. It hasn't been fallen here. It was deliberately placed, so you can deliberately move it without too much trouble. But 5 minutes eventually will clear the debris away from the door.
There's only the
No
one.
monster breaks the door to attack you when you
There's
do
only
so.
the one door, right? It's the one we came in and this one.
Correct.
How
Not
attached to
counting
you are
the
this rope? I
I
can buy you another one.
I mean, it's just a rope.
It's just a rope.
Just kind of going to start
Stuff is stuff.
swinging it across the well to make the torch move down at the bottom.
You do, and
Just
no
see if
effect.
anything reacts to it.
No fish glotches
Has
onto
The
it.
voice still
he-
going?
It is.
Has he let off? Did you leave let all 50 feet of the rope?
Yeah,
out
just
and
let
then-
it drop all the
I'm
way down.
assuming
assuming
still hasn't touched.
you drop sufficient.
Yeah. Sufficient enough to get it like to the bottom
Well,
where we can see
I'm
the
just trying to
water.
gauge how, like, if we let 50 foot of rope and there's still another 15 feet or 40 feet or whatever to the bottom of the well. You know what I mean?
It is quite deep. I don't remember exactly how
That's
deep
fine.
it
That's
was.
fine.
It's over 40 feet because otherwise the light will let us see the water, so it's at least 50 feet.
Got it.
Because the torches go 20 foot dim, 20 foot, and if we put it over top, it goes down 40 feet.
Right.
So
yes.
it's at least 50 feet.
Sure.
50.
So,
Sounds good.
It's deep, and we wouldn't be able. So my idea of having the bucket and the rope isn't going to work anyway because you've let out the
You'd
entire
still be
rope,
in the air.
and we're still in the air.
Well, I mean, presumably, if you, I have faith y'all could think of a solution.
Tie
if
a
you
second
really
rope.
wanted
More
to.
rope.
Just don't care that much.
Listen, Calvin's come up with some real stupid ideas
Just
today,
drop me
so
in
we're
there.
we're not going to go with any of his particular good ideas.
No, see, if you drop Drevin into the hole, and then he lands,
I mean,
and
that-
a splash makes it all the way back up.
I mean, this works out actually because you weren't going to be here next week anyway, so yeah.
None of us are.
None of us are. But
we all just jump in the well.
there you go. That's it.
Campaign
And
over.
then, boom, that's it. End of the season.
No,
So-
if he goes first and we jump, he's like wide
I
enough.
break the water.
He'll break. It'd be like a diver with the little whatever. And also he's wide enough that he'll like slower descent.
So, would you like to check this door now?
Start pulling the rope back up. What, you're afraid of another crossbow bolt?
No, actually, I was way more concerned with whatever could be explosive.
I mean, you can check the door yourself if you want to. You do have eyeballs.
Yes,
Check it
but
with
He's
your body.
better at it, of course.
Give it,
unless it's
give it a
haunted,
look.
it's not going to happen.
No confidence.
Just keep pulling the rope up.
You will
Has
eventually
it been
get
an
it
hour?
back. Huh?
Has it been roughly an hour since our fight?
I don't think so. But
Probably 20 minutes.
yeah, maybe
Well,
something
we
like
spent
that.
30 demolishing the statue.
No, what?
We got interrupted.
We got
by that.
interrupted.
We got
Make
interrupted
sure.
by someone's boneheaded idea.
We
to
didn't
use
get a
an
time
oven,
on that, so
which
I was just
seemed
going
right.
off 30.
Give me a perception check to check the door.
We got Smokus Interruptus.
It's an oven.
That is a 6 on the die, so that's only 16. He's
do not see
not
any
really
traps on
giving
the
too
door.
much care to this one. Just, no, it looks fine to me.
All right.
Opening the door,
Crossbow.
no crossbows attack you, but what you can see is that this was a broken down storage room, but more importantly, in the middle of the room are the figures of 3 men who are
Ha.
unconscious on the floor.
You guys heard
help!
Common walking through this place and didn't speak up.
They're
The unconscious men do not respond to you.
Corwin just sees bodies and just starts yelling at them, but doesn't notice they're unconscious for a
I'm
second.
going to
Letting
go
it- letting
and
it-
Just a bit of anger getting
Great
out.
Letting his
medic.
anger at Calvin go
Great
on these
medic.
guys.
pulse.
Huh? Yeah, they appear to be alive,
Uh,
and in fact, you're able to rouse them with some effort. They come around, and they are bleary-eyed and shaky.
Water.
They look very malnourished, quite dehydrated.
Give
and
them a
in
sec.
You used all
rough
your water.
shape.
Yeah, little bit of water.
Give them a sec.
Someone else have any water? Because you used all yours. On
Look,
I mean, we all, I'm pretty sure,
if
have
they've
water
been
skins.
starving
I'll give
and they
them
haven't
some.
had anything to drink, they need to take their time. You give them a whole water skin, they're going to drown themselves. Give them a minute.
Little
Give
sip,
me a medicine check.
little sippies.
That's going to be a 18 total. 6 on the die.
Good enough. Over the next half hour, you're able to kind of get them slowly to roused around proper amounts of food and water put together. You're able to dress some of their injuries. They look quite badly treated.
Pull out those fish pies.
Yeah.
And just, there you go.
They
You forgot
will
these.
happily take them, eating them in moderation at your direction. And these guys are quite grateful to like all that bluster and bravado that you're used to seeing the Osprey thugs have. That's gone. There is none of it here. These guys want out, and they are like, is everything all right? Did you came to rescue us?
Yes.
Did Yin send you?
Yeah, in a sense. We came here for other reasons, and she asked us to find you while you were gone.
Oh, thank gosh. Can you take us back?
Yes.
That's the
gods.
goal. Here, hold
those
on.
creatures, those things that put us in here, are they gone?
Most of them, a couple ran off, but we ain't seen hide nor hair of them.
Well, that
We should
depends
leave.
on what creatures you're talking about.
We should leave before they come back.
I'm assuming you mean the ones with the big old bug eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're dealt with for the most part. 2 of them ran off. We don't know where they went. They ain't seen them yet. But just in case, I can get you as good state as I can. But I mean, you've been down here how long? So who knows? But pull out the studded leather armor and the rapiers, just in case we get jumped and you got to defend yourself.
They'll take it and kind of shakily kind of put it back on.
Gives you some defense at least.
They'll take that rapier and they'll kind of clutch it. They do not look at all confident at all. Like the gear makes them look a little bit less like wretched, but otherwise these
It's
men
pure-
are totally shaken.
It's purely you have armor on now, you might get stabbed less. if we get attacked.
There you go.
Look, I know you've been through an ordeal, but you are members of a very famous organization.
We're thugs for hire, sir.
Don't talk nice to the Osprey Club. Yin ain't here, and none of you are going to talk nice of it either while I'm in the room.
Huh.
You will be all right. You will recover from this, and you will go back to your lives, and you will live them, and that is enough.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Also, I'm pretty sure we did kill all the Murlocs.
No, 2 of them ran off. We heard them run off.
They came back. They ended up in the room where we
They
ended up
stabbed
stabbing
me.
them.
They stabbed me for
The first
a
encounter,
lot.
they ran off, and then
Oh,
we,
right, it
we
was the
got
Netflix
they
that
were-
ran off,
they-
yeah. We didn't kill them.
It's a 15.
15. Your words are nice, and they seem to be nodding because that's what you humor the people who rescue you from the monster-infested dungeon. They just want out. There's no room for pride. There's no room for honor among thieves. There's no room for, oh yeah, I will hold my head high as I go back town. They like, if they had to crawl naked through the mud to make it back to town, they would do so. Like, they are done.
Do they
with
need to
this
be carried?
place. They are able to kind of shakily push themselves to their feet, but their eyes are bloodshot and darting around. They're on the verge of panic.
Just gonna
Like
pull
we're
out.
escorting them back to town.
Yeah, let's
Little
get them out
bottle.
of here.
Each you take one of these, it'll take the edge off.
They'll take it down, but they'll calm their shaking a little bit from just I'm assuming it's like just a calming agent or something like that.
You'd muscle relaxer a little bit, but not like extreme.
Give him some Percocets.
It's so low dose that it's just like it's enough to make your body not ache.
Horse tranquilizers.
5 milligrams of Flexeril.
Ketamine.
They all die instantly.
You have
It's marching powder.
you've rescued
Would make you march good.
the lost Osprey Club agents.
We are heroes.
75% success rate.
75% success rate. Too late for one of their number, but
like
the
100%
three
success
you have
rate.
found
100% what?
Success rate.
are most grateful to be out of this hellhole that they have been in. While our heroes decide what to do with them, I'm sure
We're taking them
that's
home.
not
We're
a
taking them home.
problem.
We're taking them home.
Absolutely
We'll get 'em
taking them
out.
We're
home.
taking them home.
While
You
the
guys-
heroes then prepare to take them home,
I'll
we're
get
going to
'em
take a short break. You guys go ahead, stretch your legs, refill your drinks, and we will see you back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, from our break, the Abomination Vaults. We got raided by Squiddish. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Howdy.
Welcome, welcome.
You came just
You're
in
all
time
bottoms.
for me to tell you about the essence of Abomination.
It's not.
Oh, the Abomination.
Smelling salts.
That's
I
just
call you
it's
all
corpse
bottoms, and there's nothing
dust.
you can do about it. I'm already banned.
I mean, there is. It's called they give Nick villain points and woe you.
It doesn't stop me.
It does.
I
They
see
can
smell.
make the woes affect only you.
These say that it won't stop me. I am prepared.
Man, you really just asked me to rocks fall you, aren't you?
Do it. Do it.
It's fine. You're in an underground dungeon that's collapsing around you. I mean, what are the odds that
We're
pieces
not
of
an
debris...
underground dungeon. We're out of it now. We took
We're
our guys
going
back
home.
to this.
I have that
fine.
first edition spell that specifically says it stops rocks from falling on you. There's a reaction spell. It's like a 6th level wizard spell that is just if
All right,
rocks
well-
fall and you would die, barrier doesn't happen.
That is
Well, you know
so
what?
first edition,
There
I
you
can't
go.
even
I
stand
guess
it.
I got nothing. It's the anti-GM spell. Truly, there is nothing that a GM can do in this
The
case.
peak of first edition.
I can
literally
only
inventing spells for this.
rely on a meme from a 20-year-old webcomic to go and actually destroy people for no reason. So
Could you imagine being the GM at the table who is that petty to use the rocks fall everyone dies thing, and your caster has the know you?
I don't
how,
know.
How pissed would you be if you
I mean,
were
I don't
already
think
that
I'd want to
petty?
play in that person's
Yeah,
game
I think
to
I
start
think that would
with.
be, I think that would be the end of that table.
Somebody would
pretty
start throwing dice.
Someone starts throwing more than dice.
I throw dice all the time. That doesn't take that much.
This isn't a pre-show, despite how we're going off the rails.
It's a
All right,
welcome
quick.
back show.
It's a welcome back show. Welcome back.
This is a Corey's got to edit.
Abomination Vaults, UGT Entertainment Network. If you want to go and see our past episodes, or if you are watching this at a future point on our VODs channel, welcome. Many people are. This is Thanksgiving holiday. We managed to use this to get away from the endless stream of social interaction to go and relax a bit. But those of you who are currently in Thanksgiving purgatory with all of your consummate obligations might be watching this on our VOD channel. Feel free to check that out on our YouTube, as well as if you want to see our pre-shows and post-shows and other cool discussions, check out our Patreon. $5 get you access to absolutely all of that. Does the Ko-fi get you access to all that too? Is that?
I don't think we have that set up yet. I think we're looking into doing that.
I think it's an
with Hexy.
excellent idea that we should definitely
Discussion
do.
on the Discord.
I love
you
it.
could also go.
Which you can also join our Discord. You probably won't see that discussion. We try to actually make it so that it's, you don't see nuts and bolts of us desperately holding the organization together with toilet paper and bubble gum.
You don't want to sit in on our 3.5-hour business meetings that we talk about finances and things?
Yeah.
Those are always fun.
That'll be like
I find them fun, but
episode 13 of Age of Ashes.
There you go. Right
Today
there.
we talk about Atari's tax code and why the Osprey Club doesn't pay any taxes.
The secret ingredient is crime. But before we get back to our heroes who have just found 3 prisoners in terrible shape from the Osprey Club.
And a 4th in worse shape.
And a 4th in even
we don't
worse
talk
shape.
about the guy you lit on
Probably
fire.
not going to
We
bring
didn't light
that
him
guy
on fire.
back.
We just smoked him. It's
No,
fine.
we just put the whole room on
Smoked
fire.
meat.
Meat is
Just
preserved.
preserving him.
Yeah, sure.
That's why Nil was so quiet while all that was happening.
Nil and I. What's up?
Why don't we go around the table and give us the lowdown on this band of criminals, I mean heroes that we have here.
We're just escorting the criminals.
I like to change the order up every now and then, so we'll start with Calbum.
This is Calbum Fimblybottom. He's the smallest, swollen, gnome domiest wizard. I don't know where else I was going with that.
I saw the inspiration.
I was like trying to
Sparks
and
coming out.
myself, and it did not work.
Going to the next tallest character, we have Nil.
Nil, our dwarven druid over here, doing a lot of research, a lot of confirming some theories that we have, I would say, in the Abomination Vaults.
Well, White Carnation Adventures just rated us as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
I think Mono did too.
Did Mono rate us
I
also?
think Mono also rated us.
Oh my god, he did!
Oh, wow.
Oh my, everybody!
3 raids at once.
Raid's here!
I
Raid!
can't even keep track of it. I'm talking to all these
I got it.
jokers, and you sneak it. How do you sneak 60 raiders under my nose? That's pretty impressive.
Very carefully.
It's an Abomination strength raid. Kills Nick.
Oh no, the dead tide's happening
Dead.
again. The raiders are rising
The
from
raiders
the graveyard.
are rising from the graveyard, which Nil might not be too off put by. Seems to
No,
be.
that would be great.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be so cool. First of all, if we see an actual necromancer, this is going to be so neat. And he can do some whooping. But, we're going to look for cool monsters and just generally enjoy our time while we're, finding creepy things.
There we go. Keeping with the theme of increased height of the party, we're going to pop over here to Corwin.
We're tied.
No, I'm taller than you.
Definitely
No, we're not.
shorter.
2
You
inches.
slump constantly.
Definitely shorter.
I am so
I'm
much
so-
good looking.
No, the
Yeah.
charisma
It's my looks
score
that give me-
stands a bit straighter.
Look,
This
it's
is
just
this
the
is a
looks.
long-going fight. They are exactly the same
It's
height.
exactly the
but
same.
they-
I can measure it down to the centimeter.
We know I'm bigger than you in every way that matters.
No, you ain't. Just because your sword is longer. Look, just because you go swinging Najee around doesn't
Najee
mean you're better.
vibrates in a
Yes.
pleased manner.
Yeah. We see how well you swing it. Hey, Najee, remember that time your cousin swung you into a dang stone altar? Anyway, Corwin of Ashti leading the 3 boys here from the Osprey Club, trying to find their way back to not being in Morlock jail. Resident field medic getting them back on their feet.
Yes, indeed. And to the next highest and or equally highest person in line, we have Ultimach.
Ultimach, Maka Thorngard. Here, resident thaumaturge and human, with my sword Najee, ancestor of the famous Menemes clan, and very excited because he's just realized that he is present in the future. When you watch him on YouTube, he's literally here and there at the same time, which means he can be in 2 places at once, and this excites him greatly.
That was a nice little, like, brick through the 4th wall window there. Well done, well done.
That's how they get you.
What's all this, like, broken, weird, shadowy glass?
And finally, to the tallest member of our party.
Standing nearly 7 feet tall, a great gnoll decked out in full plate, wielding the girthiest hammer in the party.
Riding that
We
PG-13 line real tight tonight, guys.
Puppy.
I see the smarts coming on.
I said purely things that it's your job for interpreting that way.
A little bit of Abomination Vault's trivia. One of these party members is actually the wrestling champion of the Abomination Vault's. Oh, well, I was going to say it's a quiz. Who is it? But I guess I might be the guy who just flexed.
Hey, listen, if you're listening only, you don't know.
It's the guy wearing the championship
that
belt
takes care of
below the
that.
table.
But yes, the Gnome Dome, the cage match of the Abomination Vault's Glass Lens Workshop is now known as the Gnome Dome.
That's right.
Suplexing Mr. Beak into the oblivion.
Pretty good,
And
pretty
by
good.
oblivion, we mean a bony fish.
That's true. I guess now Borbo would actually be our smallest member of the party.
Yeah.
Smaller than the cat, certainly.
Smaller than the cat.
Smaller than
for sure.
Spork.
Spork,
Yeah,
Spork is
who's
quite large.
lurking through the shadows
Yes.
right now, just wondering if the next room you walk into will be the room where her master finally dies and she gets to consume his corpse and his power, as all cats are waiting to do.
Correct.
Borbo is bestest boy.
Kind of flaps around his little fish fins.
Let's get these boys home.
Yeah.
We forgot Doggo. What the heck?
No, we didn't.
No, I did interrupt
just
you in the middle of your introduction.
No,
I
that-
apologize.
No,
He has the girthiest hammer.
I thought that was it, but I wasn't
yeah,
No,
yeah.
sure.
girthiest hammer, the pious puppy, and that was it.
Oh, okay, sweet. Sweet. Off we go.
Let's head back the way we know there ain't nothing behind us, rather than trying to find a new way up.
Well,
There's
that's
only one
what-
way
that's-
out that we know of.
That's what all the smoke was for, is preventing the retreat.
there
yeah,
you
sure.
go.
Let's go with that.
It was really to make sure that you went back the safe way. is what
Exactly.
it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Marking the way we come. We just got to follow the smoke trail.
Yeah, setting the kitchen on fire. That was perfectly reasonable.
Besides, we have a baptism to attend.
You
You
make
can
your
do-
way
oh my
back through the hidden passage, emerging onto Apprentice Isle. And right on the dock is where is the boat that the Osprey Club came here in. It's sizable, but certainly not going to fit all of you.
Yeah, we're gonna be just walking.
It'll take you about, probably about it's a half-hour walk, maybe a little bit longer since you're on the far side and have to kind of navigate some swampy lands, but you'll make your way back. And it's actually come to be about evening time since you came out here in the morning. The sun is starting to set over the trees to the west as you make your way back to town. Thankfully making it back within city limits before the sun fully sets and the nocturnal denizens of the swamp come out.
Yeah, the wisps.
Exactly. But you managed to make your way back to town, and the incredibly grateful members of the Osprey Club that survived their ordeal in the Abomination Vaults stagger their way into Crook's Nook to be greeted by their companions.
If y'all don't want to deal with Yin, I can go deal with her.
I'd actually like to see her again. She was very attractive.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, just for research.
Research.
I genuinely do not think that's a good idea. You're
will-
gullible enough, you're gonna get taken advantage of.
I don't get taken advantage of.
You
wouldn't
you
get
don't know
taken
Yin.
advantage
You're
of.
coming with me to the church.
Besides,
That's right.
you got that
I
to
have
deal
things
with.
to do.
Oh yeah,
got
that's right. That
preparations to
goss
deal
I
with.
pledged my loyalty to.
Give her my best, though.
Yeah, sure. You got preparation to do with. I'm pretty sure you don't do those till dawn, though, right?
Doesn't mean she can't read.
No, but she can get all this prep work done, and then dawn, dawn flower and
I'm
whatnot.
a male.
No, not you, the priestess.
Well, you go and split your separate ways. I suppose we have two of you heading to the Dawnflower Library to reaffirm your newfound faith in Saren Ray. I guess Corin by himself is going to go to the Crook's Nook to talk
I mean,
to Yas.
you're welcome
Yasmera.
to come if you want to, but she ain't the nicest lady.
I think we have things to talk about.
Fair
Yes.
enough.
Correct.
If you, I will like wave down one of the guys that the people that we rescued. If you have any kidney stones, let me know.
Just nod and keep walking.
Okay.
It's just
Perfect.
easier
you-
to agree and keep going.
Are you looking for kidney stones?
Yes, I thought that was obvious.
Seemed pretty obvious to me.
Right.
I got it.
And will you pay gold for it?
No.
Oh. All right,
you
well,
see
good
what I
luck with
mean?
that.
Well, just if you have any extra laying around.
Gallstones
good
are also
cost.
perfectly
And
acceptable.
gallstones. I expect you'll have more kidney stones in the near future, but
Right, yeah. Well, normally those get discarded, but, like, you know, if you're paying, then, you know, that kind of immediately builds a line of supply that flows what you want to you. I mean, the Osprey Club can help with whatever weird nonsense you want.
Just kind of give
There's
him a
coin behind it.
give him a brief look and just, you trying to make a deal behind Yin's back?
Certainly not. We're expected to go and
Yeah,
Be
free
productive
agents, you know,
as
getting
members.
caught in a dungeon.
don't tell
alone.
me. Don't tell me our business. Just you can go, and if you had your chance, if you wanted to go work for Yin or if you wanted to be a member, but no, you'd rather just lose all your money at the tables.
Yeah, I'd rather do that than get one of those marks on my shoulder.
Oh, don't be high and mighty.
keep it in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, ready to go?
You too could sell your kidney stones.
For free.
For free.
She'll take the whole kidney if you're
As
offering.
a thank you.
For free.
For free?
So let's see here. I guess we'll start with the members of the Osprey Club. So Corwin would walk them over to Crook's Nook. It seems that back in town, they're already starting to get a bit of their swagger back, although they're still quite exhausted. Walking into the Crook's Nook, it's getting onto evening time, but the Crook's Nook, in addition to being a hive of scum and villainy, is also a fairly popular drinking establishment.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, you know, the locals are there, partaking in food and drink and merriment, gaming of all sorts taking place. And it doesn't take long before Yin Yasmera herself comes down from her office to wave you back into her office. The three kind of nod looks up to Yin, who kind of waves them away with a friendly expression, saying, "Please go and recover yourselves. You've had quite the ordeal. Corwin, my friend, please come sit down. I just want to let you know how absolutely pleased I am with your progress."
Don't mind, Sec. I don't want to go treading mud across your office and whatnot. Look down his boots.
Oh, please. Clientele here isn't quite so picky, and you're the returning hero, good sir. I just want to let you know how absolutely pleased I am with your work.
Sure, let's chat about why there's only 3 and not 4.
Oh, please, I assume something terrible happened to him, certainly given the state of my other 3 who came back. Oh, please, Corwin, don't look so dejected. She'll pat you on the shoulder and close the door.
Ow.
Shoulder stab himself in.
Yeah, maybe not that one. Still pretty fresh on the wound there.
Oh, goodness gracious, certainly considering the state you yourself are in, I am simply grateful to have my men back and at least know what befell my 4th one. I'm sure I'll get the story from the boys, but here, you certainly earned this. She'll pour you a small glass of spirit, which she'll set down in front of you. Now then, I believe of course, I'm a woman of my word. I made a promise to you. And she'll open her ledger, where she keeps records of debts, yours included, and she'll pull a page out and fold it in half and slide it across the table to you. You can see it is your fairly sizable gambling debts that are written down. Please, as much as some in this town would paint me as a heartless harridan looking to squeeze the good townsfolk for their life's blood, I do care for the men and women under my command. They're like nephews to me. I appreciate having them back, Corwin, and I recognize that this was not an easy task I set for you. The town is, well, it's in quite a state ever since the dead rose in the cemetery and that terrible light shone out from the gauntlet. It's little victories like these that I think will keep this town back in order.
That's the goal. I mean, We found a bit more so far, but nothing worthwhile. Nothing of what happened.
Well, plenty of stories all about that place. I'm sure if you're heading back out the next day, you'll find something soon enough. And I think with this little victory, your party might see a bit more support from the townsfolk, too. I'll do my best to spread the good word around.
Well, that's certainly appreciated, Miss Yasmara.
Please, please. We'll go and I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. If you have need of anything outside of normal mercantile channels, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm sure I could acquire it for you.
Yes, I'm sure we got a list together going of some stuff we're going to be needing here soon.
Splendid, splendid.
If you got context that can get us some, the sort of things to make your weapons go a bit harder through the folks that you're trying to cut down and that sort.
Oh, please. Simple equipment of that sort. Nothing illegal about it. Available for purchase on the common market. Don't get me wrong, I could certainly acquire you some if you're looking for, no bill of sale or record of transport. But if not, I wouldn't want to go and rob the legitimate business folk of this town of their hard-earned coin.
Suppose that'll depend on who's looking for what, because one of the folk we're going in here with sure has some weird requests that your boys are going to be more than happy to tell you about.
Well, anything for coin. I can make anything happen, but we do have expenses.
Of course, coverage charges and whatnot on the orders.
Oh, and cost of obtaining them? Certainly. Nothing moves for free. You can let your friend know that.
No,
but please, good Corwin, sir, you have earned this. And if you ever feel like you'd want to come back and enjoy my hospitality, you know where to find me.
Yeah, well, maybe once I'm not feeling like half my blood's missing from my body, and pretty sure if I drink that, I'm going to pass out.
Some of my finest, but I hate to see it go to waste. If you feel a little bit shaky yourself, I'll enjoy it in your stead. I'll drink to your health, sir.
Appreciated.
She'll show you out, and probably gives you enough time to stagger home and collapse face first into your bed.
Before anything of collapsing for the night, take out the half-put-together stitches, get the proper toolkit out, start cleaning the wound, and getting things back together proper.
Brandy would have done well to sterilize it.
What's the name of the process that they have to do when they clean out a wound? Where they have to, gouge out?
Debridement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
they
what
literally
he's doing.
gouge out the wound and clean it up.
Yep.
It's not pleasant, and I don't want to describe it.
Why not? That's the kind of stuff that we need to hear.
I like the word debridement, actually, because it sounds very scientific, very medical, but also gritty enough to know exactly what's going on. Well, let's go to our good friends Nil and Calbum. What are you doing for the rest of the night before retiring from your adventure?
Well, Calbum. Okay, well, I've learned some interesting facts today.
Tell me about them.
Going to reach through, pull out this book again. Now, this is a special book. You know, the little tasty treats that I have sometimes that fix up the party a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's from here. Ah. This book contains power. Ooh. And as I'll open the book and I'll thumb through the pages and just go, and a puff of smoke goes out, and it's like a skull of a ram's horn, with red eyes. And I raise my eyebrows.
Evil, I see that.
So here at the beginning, here's what I've been making. Some for better or for worse. We've trials and errors, but at the back, I'll go all the way to the back. This looks like what we were looking at today, and again we'll go over the sacrifice and the pillar in the back and the stones and the runes and all the shenanigans. I asked Mucker. He does not think it's a recipe. He does not even.
But it says stuff right there about eating stuff.
I know. He doesn't even think it's for blessing food.
What is Calum's religion, Bonus?
Cat toys.
2.
Well, it's very clear to you what's going on here. Mocker isn't reading between the lines.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, I don't know what we're dealing with exactly in this book, but I think it's the key.
I think that Mocker's probably just got it totally wrong. And anything that he says about what's going on in that book, we should probably think the opposite.
So it might be to bless food.
I think it's exactly that.
Okay. Mocker is normally right about these things, so this must be an extreme tide to subvert the power and get by Mocker's perceptions.
That's right. They got to Mocker.
Must be incredible.
Lord help me.
It's really nice not physically being there for the insanity these two speak.
See, that's why Mocker's going to join the religion.
Over here
They
doing
got
some
to
math.
him.
Exactly. You will notice that the puff of smoke that is a very similar carving as to what I've carved onto my staff. I do have a staff. There's many carvings, and at the top of it is kind of a ram's skull with the horns and kind of eyes, slanted eyes.
Perfect.
But I do think we should follow up on the mind control business in this vault.
I think it's the only thing we should be concerned about.
Yes, they don't even know what's important.
They don't want us looking at it at all.
It's
Did you
sad.
notice how they said it
I
was some
know.
kind of teleportation thing?
Yeah,
They got to them.
they're blind.
We gotta watch them.
Blind. We'll be their eyes for them.
But we gotta be hush-hush about it.
Yes.
Not to interrupt, but help! And you can see Bones the fish has actually been batted out of the air and is currently being held in the mouth of a very overly large cat.
Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
And it just kind of starts to run away from you.
I grab.
Help! Wait!
I
No!
pull it out of my my robes. That's what they're called. I was like, what is this thing? Pull out of my robes, and suddenly a live bird is in my hand, and it flies around. Magic.
Live decoys.
It's been in there the whole time. It's
Yeah.
just a full dome.
It's a dove, and it goes and runs in front of Spork to distract him.
Spork gets a little bit distracted and kind of tries to bat at the bird, and then it kind of drops Borbo, but then Borbo tries to flap away, flopping with a fish before he can kind of start to get floating again, and furiously flapping his little fish fins, trying to move through the air faster, and then the Spork kind of looks at him and his eyes just get so big. And he tries to pounce and tries to catch them both. Borbo gets knocked out of the air, gets a little sturdy, kind of flub around, desperately trying to flap away. Borbo, however, apparently channeling some of the power of Mr. Beak, manages to pull off an impressive barrel roll, dodging Spork's mid-air pounce to fly away as fast as his little fishy, bony flippers can take him. Spork winds up contenting himself with the bird toy, which eventually puffs into some smoke and illusion.
Turns into a treat.
Low distant echo of an audience cheer at the maneuver.
Spork then kind of sits down, cleaning his paws, and deliberately ignores everyone, pretending that never happened.
Right.
I do have one more secret mission. And I'll pull out the scroll that I found in the chapel.
Mhm.
Was it? The scroll, I will be like,
All right. Nimbleoth, right? Nimbleoth, right?
The thing that you don't know about?
I know what the chapel was.
Right, but not
I don't
the
know about
scroll.
I'm
the
remembering
scroll
if that's
was
the right
pretty
name.
well hidden.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty well hidden.
I saw you find that.
Yes. I don't know what it is.
I was
I
hoping
can't read it.
I was hoping I could get a look at it.
Yes. And I'll elbow Bones, the whole rib cage shifts. There's
Fish kinda
some
floats over.
I'm gonna need you to back me up here because I have unreliable. So I look down at Bones again. We're still working on it right now.
I could try to look at it and see if I could make any sense. I'd never seen it before, though.
I take it out with a big flourish, whoosh, and it goes poof.
What does it go like?
I'm obviously.
magnificent.
Thank you.
It's the
Thank
exact
you.
noise paper makes. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm hiring.
You've never had paper go foo 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 foo.
Look, I'm hiring Brenda to do our Sirenscape sound system from now on.
So it'll just, and then I'll lay it out. On
Bryn's a
the,
Foley artist now.
Okay.
We
All
got our
right.
Soli soundboard and our Bryn backgrounds.
Yeah. There you go.
So let's go ahead and see here. How are you all going to try to study this? So first off, you're on the street right now in twilight. You can barely make out.
I
what
thought
these
we
things
go
are.
Oh, I
back to
thought we
his
went to my
house.
cave.
Oh, is that where you went?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. That
All right,
I
I
missed
missed that
I thought
bit.
that was. I thought that was implied.
I missed that bit.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
so you're in this
When,
cave
conspiring, you have to be in the cave that has been specifically prepared to not be
to
heard.
conspire. Okay.
No, the
So-
idea that you two are conspiring in the middle of the public street.
That's even better.
No, that's
that is
exactly
so much better.
That is exactly where you would conspire.
No. We
No,
have
no,
we
we
are
got-
geniuses.
We both have
at-
dark vision. We go to my
Mhm.
cave, obviously.
We step into a
Yes.
dark alleyway.
So you're in the cave. It's actually it's homey. It's snug. No one bigger is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Designed
actually,
for me.
Yeah.
This is actually perfect. Like it is enough for literally 2 people to crouch next to a fire and read something illicit. This is perfect.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and try to and try to go and work on this. So Aklo is a common theme. It doesn't take. You've seen plenty of Aklo. You recognize it all over this thing. Sussing out individual meanings. I don't think either of you speak it yet, right?
Not yet.
No, I was hoping my fish.
It's a
brain.
good language to go pick up, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Or have a minion that speaks it.
Or have a minion that speaks.
You
it.
don't have to do these things if you have a minion.
That's true. And you know what? Borbo can read it.
Ooh, that's what I was hoping for.
Borbo starts to go look through these things and is going to provide you a sizable assistance bonus. So, occultism would be the thing to use here.
Perfect.
What do you guys have?
Oh,
I'll
plus
roll
7.
it for you.
+7.
Plus 7?
I have a +9.
And a +9 would, and I would maybe, let's see here. I would say you could actually have multiple assistants going on here if one of you wants to assist for the other.
I can assist.
Okay, perfect. Give me an assist check.
Putting the cult back in a cult.
Ooh, 19 on the dice.
Ooh,
Oh my
smoking.
gosh. Okay, so
Almost
that's
feel like you should have done the
26.
regular check.
26. Perfect. All right, well, you're going to get a nice little bonus on that. And, okay. So,
With your
Here
3 on
comes
the
the
die.
lies.
Borbo starts...
Dubious knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. I got dubious knowledge.
Borbo starts to work with you on this. And Borbo is going to start to translate what he can and go over this little scroll. The first thing that becomes fairly apparent as you all start working over this is that this is incomplete. This is only part of a much larger set of these scrolls, possibly which might be incorporated into a large book or individual scrolls hidden throughout these areas. Certainly this scroll was secreted away. Given that this was in a shrine to a god which I believe was successfully identified, I believe you all recognize this as Nimaloth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing Drevin got was
Destroy.
destroy, break everything, don't read anything. So you're reading it, right?
Yeah. So,
It's
so here's
real
the two
easy.
numbskulls
I can't read
reading it.
And you look and
This says
see
Necronomicon?
Klaatu. You will go and go through this, and there is a lot that's actually discussing Nimbaloth. It is and of course it is praising Nimbaloth. Nimbaloth is an outer god that exists apart from the standard pantheon, but not just like a different pantheon, like you have the Orcish pantheon, the Elvish pantheon. You have Pharasma, who's kind of over all of this. Nimbaloth exists outside of the established celestial hierarchy, and which also means she exists outside the typical mechanisms of how things work. She is of a group, if you were to call them that. They are only grouped in that they are apart from what is stable and what makes reality function. Nimbaloth, a big theme of her is consumption. And it ties in very well with what you've read in your book. It is the consumption of the strong which draws strength into a center. And it speaks of an ancient time where Nimbaloth sought to devour the goddess Pharasma herself. And even though she was ultimately unsuccessful, that her might is such that she was able to, her Pharasma could only ward her away and could not fully defeat her. Such is Nimbaloth's mighty power.
Is that what the scroll is describing?
That's what the scroll is describing.
This is a phenomenal.
So let me, because I'm the one reading it, and I'm getting assistance from you.
From the fish, but yeah.
So, oh yeah, right. So
both of you. Barbara will translate, and then you all will discuss.
Yeah.
So what the scroll is saying is that Nimbaloth is like an outsider of the establishment. You know what I'm saying? And her people are like free thinkers. And so...
Oh my god.
Yes.
How did I not make this connection in my head before I told you this?
Exactly.
Because you're thinking like the man.
You're an
Somewhere in the
establishment thinker, Nick.
You're in the system, man.
Somewhere in the distance, Corwin just stabs his own leg out of frustration. Doesn't know why, he just does.
This is so perfect for both of us. I don't even know. Excellent writing, Nick. I'm really impressed.
Well, thank you. Thank
Praise
you.
be
Way to,
Limbo.
way to hand that yes and right to me.
I absolutely did. One other thing, though, comes here is that it talks about, through praise of Nimbaloth, a ritual could be used to emulate a portion of her devouring power. Where if you were to use this ritual, you could use it to target an undead, a creature that once was, that is shackled here, and draw away some of its power into yourself to strengthen yourself from it and damage the undead.
You see, I think this is telling us, like your book was telling us how to prepare and bless a meal, this is telling us what that meal is going to give us.
And there's actually
Power.
It's true, and there's a sort of a phrase that is said in Aklo, which is apparently, it looks like an inversion of hierarchies is the best way that you can describe it, without knowing the language so much. It's kind of hard to piece together, but the relationship of the hierarchies describes the undead's precarious position to maintain its existence outside of Pharasma's support, and then the hierarchy describes it inverting to place yourself above that undead, and that appears to be how the chant works. Your pronunciation is probably awful, but you know, a little bit of work on it, you think you could get this right.
Have you seen how the staff works sometimes? Sometimes it'll sap the energy right out.
I've seen that sometimes.
Maybe this is along the same lines.
I think you're right.
And I think we'll probably be studying the scroll
All night.
for as long as until people like come and get us.
Okay.
For sure.
Or
Absolutely.
you pass out, one of the two.
Well, you'll probably fall asleep.
Have you ever fallen into one of
eventually.
those ADHD hyperfocus holes where like you just like the world disappears? We're in a dark cave. There's only like the one light source.
The
if
Dave
that
the
light
diver hole.
So I
Exactly.
can think of a few video games that have done that to me
Uh-huh.
over the course of my life. So you know what? As that in mind, falling asleep is entirely optional. I've been there, guys.
we call this the fatigue trap.
We're gonna go to the absolute opposite side of the alignment spectrum and cut over to
Hey, that doesn't exist anymore.
Dreven and Altamok, who are making their way to the Dawnflower Library. It's not middle of the night or anything by the time you get there. It's twilight fading into evening. And the Dawnflower Library, while never really a bustling location, still has some people who are there and quietly reading, contemplating. And there's even a small Serenite service which is held every evening as the sun sets.
What was the name of the head librarian?
Vandy.
Because that was written down on my old character sheet, which is gone. So I don't have that.
It is
I'll try not
dissolved into the ether.
I'll try not to level you anymore to make it easier.
Thank you.
Good work. Thinking ahead there.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Like digital character sheets.
Or not losing yours.
Got thrown away.
Not deliberately throwing your notes away then could be another solution. But until you figure that out, I just won't level you until you get that sorted.
It's perfect. Gives you an excuse not to give us level 4 immediately.
Not that I needed one, but yes, that's true.
Now it's an excuse. Now it's justified. So, going to the church / library / place where a lot of undead have recently jumped off a cliff and killed themselves.
True.
Would it be time for the evening service or past it?
Would have been just past it. You would walk in there, those few worshippers. It's kind of like, most people in town are followers of Saren Ray, but no one goes every evening, except unless you're like particularly pious. You always have that core group of people who are there all the time, like
Your church ladies.
the
like
church
the
ladies.
Catholics.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like, hey, it's the Feast of the Assumption. Doors are packed.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's there. Easter, everybody's there. But yeah,
Wednesday afternoon mass, maybe not.
It's like,
To be fair, I'm there for every service that I'm not off actively crushing undead.
correct, and that's appropriate. So you would say it's the service is over, but it's not a big group of people coming out.
Perfect. Well, hunting around for you said Bandy or Dandy?
Vandy.
with a V.
Vandy.
Yeah,
There you go.
And it doesn't actually take you long to find her because she's looking for you because news of your return from the vaults has spread. And she will kind of trot out her little halfling self, moving on out to kind of look up at you. And she can't really shake your hand. She can't pat you on the shoulder. You are literally 8 times her size. Maybe not 8 times. Well, actually, no, if you count mass, definitely.
Square cube law, baby.
Yeah.
But she'll kind of, with a typical halfling swagger, kind of beam a smile back up at you. Drevin, you've come back. Welcome back. Come, please, come and rest. Altamok, good to see you as well, good friends. I trust everyone else in your party is all right.
For the most part, yes.
Good. Excellent. Wonderful to hear. We can't thank you enough for what you're doing over there in the vaults, trying to investigate that horrid light that came and, raised the corpses of
It's
our
the worst
father.
art in the world.
Why do they make their mouths all so unnaturally wide?
She's just so happy to see you guys. Look,
The
look
dimples
at
are
that
cute.
smile.
I like the dimples.
You got those
It's
little
not the
dimples are
dimples.
It's the fact that her mouth goes to here.
It's fine.
You want to
get-
know
get
how I
over
got this smile?
No, I don't.
Worshipping
Worshipping
Saren.
Saren Ray. It
There's
makes
a
me very
reason I
happy.
don't go to church.
It's quite
It's
fulfilling.
her. She's the reason I don't go to church.
Yeah, you can't blame your immorality on others. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way.
No. No. I'm getting just.
Lollipoppy.
But please come back. You have to tell me of your adventures, and please come back. Sit. We'll bring some refreshment, and her attendants will leave, and as you sit down, just cushions on the floor underneath the. There's sort of an open. It's not like open to the air, but it's a wide open area with broad windows facing out over the ocean. And refreshment is brought, light food, snacks type of thing, and mugs of locally brewed ale are brought in as well.
Sit politely.
It's good. She doesn't bring you the cheap stuff or anything like that. They keep some on hand. Apparently, there's no vow of sobriety here, just a vow against making a jerk of yourself.
Like the Catholics.
He looks awkward, kind of like a schoolboy who's in a classroom with his new teacher, and he doesn't know whether or not she's gonna like him yet, and so he's just kind of watching his words.
She looks at you and notices your mannerism change, but just smiles encouragingly and doesn't seem at all off-put by it.
We have a new convert of sorts. After seeing what the light of Saren Ray can do through me.
I had long hoped that you would see the way, and I'm glad that you finally come around to it. And Drevin, what did I tell you? See? No memorizing of scripture or giving of long-winded speeches. Good works, living in the light. Your example alone is enough to draw people to Sarenrae's goodness, as anyone else could do the same. And even you, Mocker, living in her light and living by her virtues and demonstrating how worthy they are to others. Your good example and your success in living a good life will draw others to the flame. And all together we can bear that torch into the future to banish the darkness.
The Saren Way.
I've never quite heard it called that, but yes, I suppose, the Saren Way. It has a good ring to it.
I know. He taught me.
I think I made that one up.
We'll call it divine inspiration. I'm sure my lady will forgive us our small bit of levity. Truly, the lady has no great number of tenants that you have to keep track of, like a list of laws, like some Abadaran accountant. Really, at the core is duty and trust. And from that trust is forgiveness. For people are born to all sorts of circumstances, and those that fall short of those circumstances, they deserve a chance to be shown the proper way. And that being said, Sarenrites are no fools. We understand that many are not willing to accept Sarenrae's offer of forgiveness, and many still may not be worthy of it. But it's an offer to make, nonetheless. We must give the good people of a world time to realize their own goodness, and we show them through our example, and through our mercy, we give them the opportunity to show it themselves. And thus, all of us walk together in the light.
Speaking of undeserving of mercy, there's a chapel to Nimbaloth on the first floor.
I see. I trust you were able to destroy what runes, carvings, books you were able to find of that profane religion?
To my knowledge, I don't remember myself finding any books,
You
runes.
smashed the crap out of that altar.
The altar, but like
You didn't find any books or anything, no?
The only thing I noticed outside of the structure itself was a grand altar that no longer is in one piece.
Good. Good. If ever you should find anything to that foul religion, that terrible goddess, destroy whatever you can. That's what we tell our initiates to keep them safe, you understand. Any books, whatnot, some would prefer to capture the knowledge, to keep it sequestered, only read by those who know the right of it and know enough to guard their minds against what it contains. But honestly, even though I run a library, those foul things are most likely best left destroyed for the greater good. Even the words of Nimbaloth herself can burrow their way into minds and create holes through which evil can creep. But
Accidental cult religion, yeah!
I almost wish you had found something that you could destroy, for if nothing was there, almost assuredly, then it's been long since claimed by previous treasure hunters and likely sold off to collectors and curios in the world where they can wreak their havoc. But a success and a win is preferable, even if incomplete. So you've done well.
Thank you. As for these odd meaflets, I believe they are.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of live there. I don't think they can read it either.
Meaflets, they are cruel creatures. They delight in suffering, but if you were able to cow them into behaving well, then...
They tried to lie to me.
Indeed they will.
I gave them their chance and they behaved.
Mitflits are... You're not the first Sarenite to offer that to their kind. And while I do say that they still deserve that. Do not let your guard down. If they perceive weakness, they will see an opportunity for betrayal. And I can't speak to these meatflits, but others of their kind, their chaotic fey nature will frequently get the better of them. Although, certainly we once thought the same of the goblin tribes that lived in the mountains, and many of them have come around after centuries of backstabbing and violence. So I don't go to say that is entirely impossible. Oh, yes, Mocker. You don't have to raise your hand.
Could we get a little bit more clarity on this greater good you speak of? It's a little fuzzy to me what the rules are, and I don't wish to break any of them and displease her ladyship.
The rules of Sarenrae are quite straightforward. Mercy. Offer mercy.
He gets his book out.
Offer mercy to those who need it, and accept surrender and honest contrition. Don't make yourself a fool, but always give that chance. The undead are an abomination on Sarenrae's light and the natural order of things. Many of them are twisted. Yeah. Many of them are twisted, unfortunately, by the foul magic that animates them, as well as those who are intelligent are driven by profane hungers that make it impossible for good folk to live with them. They should be put down as mercifully as possible, but they should be destroyed for the betterment of the world.
And, we're not, are we, I mean, is celibacy a thing?
No, please. Certainly not. Celibacy.
He looks so relieved.
All of the tension in the room just
I
melts away.
feel so much better.
I'm so scared.
I have women hit on me constantly. It's so terrifying. I don't want to make God angry.
Oh, back to the Catholics. No, certainly not. Certainly we'd have no worshippers left if that were a requirement. Although some do choose to forsake all mortal distractions to further their studies and sequester themselves on mountaintops or cliffs where large views of the sky can be had to contemplate Sarenrae's light. This is not something that we expect of our lay worshippers. Certainly not.
Okay.
But aside from that, live a good life. Support people, care for them. And if you wonder what Sarenrae would want, you have a friend here who can guide you down that path better than any other I could think of.
I admire him greatly.
If you would like, you can spend the night here, and in the morning, we have a ceremony of sorts that I think would do well to mark your newest step into the light.
Oh, okay. I should perhaps tell you one more thing. I have a deceased family member who lives in my sword and frequently tells me to kill almost everything I come in contact with. I don't listen to him unless it's, evil, but I should... I'm trying to convert him as well, but he just won't listen.
I'm...
Here.
Somewhat... Randy reaches a hand out and first doesn't touch it, but kind of mutters a spell on a glyph will kind of appear, and she'll kind of cock her head a bit.
I don't believe this to be undead.
And she goes and takes the sword and kind of closes her eyes for a bit. Well, you can be polite at least.
He's not rude, in general. He's sometimes rude. He's not rude to ladies.
She'll hand the sword back, and she'll get kind of a contemplative look on her face, and then she'll look up at you. You need not worry about Najee, as he introduced himself. He seems to have your best interests at heart. I sense no taint of the undead around him.
Good, good.
He is outside of Pharasma's rule, however. But
I'm not one of those, right?
not at all, no. We make allowances for such things.
Oh, good.
That being said, I suspect even if he tries to help in the best way he can, which, well, when all you have is a hammer, all the world is a nail, make him some allowances. Live well, and show him that mercy, a sword means a sword can be used to protect as well as to slay.
That's what I've been trying to tell him.
I'm sure he'll come around, Mocker. You seem like you speak well. I think you'll make Najee a believer before long.
All right. So I suppose we go to bed now.
Eat something, go to bed, however you like to spend your evening.
And the evening will in fact be quite pleasant. You are guests of the Dawnflower Library, which, apart from being a library, is a functioning temple with a rectory and a mess and is it a mess?
I don't know. Is it dirty?
Call it a kitchen. That's typically what you typically call them when there is a military organization.
Yeah, a mess hall would imply more organized.
Yeah, exactly.
Force.
Ironically. But you're fed and given simple accommodations.
I'll pick up a book, like something on Saren Ray, so that I can read it.
There are plenty of those. And if you want to take this book with you, which they will let you keep, it's a small prayer book. It's like a handbook. You can keep that in your
pocket Bible.
Basically, if it's the whole Bible, it's really hard to fit that in a pocket. But
God, I love the pocket edition.
The
Don't
pocket
you just
edition.
love the pocket edition, Nick?
It is a
Isn't it
pocket
really
anyway.
convenient?
But
I have very large pockets.
if you keep this book with you, if ever you need to, it won't give you make you trained in Saren Ray lore or anything. But if you want to reference it, it's worth a bonus.
Okay.
If ever you wanted to question about
he's
what is
already
Saren
trained
Ray
in
doctrine.
religion, so
This will give you a bonus in case you're trying to recall knowledge about a specifically a Sarenite question. And you have it with you. The next day, a short ritual is conducted. The rising sun in the east floods into the is allowed to flood into the observation room where you are seated before Vandy, who is up on a stool so that she can kind of be a part of this. A few of the acolytes are around who are reciting prayers to the Dawnflower, and a part of the ritual in particular is you are, as the sun rises to sweep over the rune, before it does, you inhale and hold your breath. And as the sun sweeps over you and you feel the warmth on your face, you let the breath out as full and as fast as you can. And as you do, Vandy will hold a gold embroidered handkerchief in front of your face to catch your breath. As she does, she takes it, wraps it, and binds it with a piece of gold thread.
As the cloth touches his face, a different impression will come over him, and he'll actually get different posture. His face will assume a different cast, and he will intone in just a different tone of voice, nothing crazy or maniacal, just different.
Mm-hmm.
I am a changed man.
Exactly. As night turns to day, the eyes of the dawn, light that lays lost souls to rest. Cleansed by fire, death is not the greatest of evils. For the righteous, there is no oblivion, and the promise of redemption is there for the pure of purpose to claim. Blessed is the lady who is the light of justice and the song of truth. And his eyes will just clear.
The acolytes get a little teary-eyed, actually, and Vandy is beaming at you. She'll take the handkerchief that's bound up with this gold thread, and she'll hand it to you. This is the last breath you took before Saren Ray welcomed you fully into her light. It's something of a tradition. Keep it with you, for it reminds us where we came from, and where others still lurk.
He'll put it in his pocket. He'll replace his kerchief that he has in there. He'll just toss it. He won't even like. He doesn't even know where he got that thing
Yeah,
from
okay,
anyway.
yeah. Pack rat thaumaturge. You're just putting it in a different pocket. I know you.
What,
It's like one of those little lighter pockets. That's like behind the other pocket.
this is getting labeled as holy esoterica.
You got yourself some holy esoterica. Meanwhile,
At the
did
all-nighter
you two
cave.
sleep, oh prep casters?
I mean, we might have, mostly on accident.
Yeah, you probably fell asleep.
Definitely fell asleep.
Yeah.
It was not intentional.
And Corwin, you'll wake
we
up.
we roll out about noon.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, the rules say 8 hours. It
That's
doesn't
right.
say it has to be in the morning.
That's true. That's true. And Corwin, the only person to sleep in his own bed, although I guess Draven slept in his own bed.
I slept in my own
Yeah, I guess
bed.
That's true.
His
you
bed
did.
is the floor.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the cave.
Your wounds certainly aching badly, but aching, in the good way. The kind that you tell your patients to quit complaining about that means it's working.
Yeah.
Although in some unfortunate twist, the cruel twist of fate has you suffering at the moment. From your own ministrations as well.
Look, you gotta make it hurt to make it fit. It's like setting a broken ankle. If you don't set it right, it's just gonna not heal correct. And then it's bad all the time.
You say that to yourself a lot this morning.
Yep. Avoiding anything to numb it besides maybe a little piece of sweet. That's about it.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. It's a shame I don't drink.
Well, rolling out of bed, I believe you do have a few things that you could show about town. You do have that spyglass.
Yeah, we got some work to do.
And you have a few items I don't know that's been fully identified yet.
We got a couple that need taking a look at. I still got to take a look at that
We got the
rod
stone.
we found.
Yep.
Did we actually take the gem and runestone from the fire room?
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
him.
we got
We put
those.
them in
four-
pockets.
we
I
got
would
those
assume you
before-
would have scooped those
We
out.
got
heck
those
yeah.
before you
before
left.
Calvin lit the room on
Yeah.
fire.
You had
Light
time
the room
to.
on fire. It's preserving the
We'll
crime scene.
smoke the monster.
We got
Yeah.
we
We'll
got a
smoke
runestone
the
to take a look
monster
at. Corwin has the wand,
Okay.
and that's probably going to be what he's spending most of his day on. Actually, is trying to figure out this language on it.
Sure.
Because we've identified it as Aklo, but he's going to spend most of his day going about go to the library. Hey, I need books on this, how to translate it, and start to learn this language best he can.
Sure. So you can certainly learn the language. Although in relation to actually trying to identify this, seeing as how you are in the middle of town where there are a number of people who are fairly well learned in various things, you could also try to just ask for their help if you'd like to.
He'd probably end up taking it to Rin.
Sure. Absolutely. And we also have let's see here. You have the wand. You figured your own scroll out.
Yeah, we have the runestone we got out of the
the large-
fire room
the
and
large
the green gem in
onyx.
there.
Yeah, so if you guys want to spend the day just kind of collecting things and getting things together, yeah. So the
Some priced out stuff.
the rune stone is a +1 weapon potency rune. The green gem that you find is actually a fear gem talisman, which you can attach to a weapon
Or sell.
or turn into cash. You could always turn that into
The
cash.
fear gem sounds like a thing we give the very large, scary gnome.
You might also do that.
I like cash.
I'm not scary at all.
They're not worth that much.
Oh.
Talismans got better, by the way. They
Yeah,
did get
talismans
better.
are way more useful now.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
not go crazy.
we
They're
don't talk about the
better.
ones that got hit with a nerf bat.
Did they nerf some talismans?
Crying Angel Pendant is no
That's,
longer
that's
useful.
aftership.
We could talk about that, but I disagree. I think Crying Angel Pendant
No,
is
the,
just fine.
the remaster change.
Oh, they
the guy got
remastered it and changed
changed.
it again? Oh.
Yeah, it got changed.
Well, we'll see. But let's see here. The wand you're able to turn to eventually identify. It actually is a wand that will cast a level 1 heal spell.
That we can keep.
You're gonna have to go talk to some. You have to bring it to Rin.
Yeah.
And when you bring it to Rin, interestingly enough, she has another guest, someone who you know of in town, but you haven't seen around. He's sort of an older human. Walks with a little bit of a hunch, quite a bit overweight from a sedentary lifestyle. Hair's kind of thinning, drooping jowls, spectacles perched on his nose. Talking to Rin, but as sort of semi-animated way. Rin is standing a bit a ways, responding, but it looks like she's thoughtfully engaged in the conversation. When you do approach, Rin will notice you first, wave you over, and the face of the older man will turn and reveal himself to be Morlabent, the bookseller. He runs a bookshop. He's a little bit standoffish, but absolutely devoted to collecting various bits of knowledge, as well as is a fair hand at identifying magical components and sells a few of them as well. But when he sees you approaching, his eyes light up. Ah, well, you were certainly right, Miss Rin. Indeed, just had to stay here long enough and they'd start to trickle in. Rin would kind of give a knowing smile and a nod, kind of wink to Corwin.
You hiring me out without consulting me first again?
Oh, hiring certainly not. Mr. Morlabent here was simply looking to discuss some business with you, and certainly more than willing to do the hiring and payment himself. He did come to me for advice on where to find you, and I was more than happy to go conduct a horoscope to decide where he could spend the best amount of time. I had a feeling you'd be by soon enough, and the stars backed me up.
Fair enough. I got something else for you to look at, too, once we finish with his business.
Oh, of course. Morlabent nods to Rin and back to you. Master Corwin. So, I see that you've come back from the vaults. Well, there were some tales that happened there. Tales of Belcor's library. Certainly, most of it is absolute dreck, useless trash.
Probably falling apart given the state of the place.
Well, you'd be surprised. Belcor wouldn't be one to put her library anywhere near a place where the swamp could get at it. If you were to come across it, it is almost sure to be in at least as good a condition as one could expect. But, despite the passage of time, there is a very good likelihood that it is in good condition. Belcora was evil and mad, but also a genius. She wouldn't store books in the swamp somewhere. There's a list of books, rare tomes, that I've been tracking for many years now, and I think that Belcora's library would be the place where many of these may have wound up.
Ooh, a list.
Give me a moment here, and just kind of pulls out a little notebook from his side. I got a couple here.
A couple of
fella
books?
named, not books themselves, titles.
Oh, well, I have a list of titles right here.
Oh,
Well, let's
may
see
I?
if any of these here match up.
We're not there.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I thought we were all there. Sorry.
No, it's just Corwin.
Just Corwin.
right now.
He's getting the wand checked out.
Yeah, I got some other stuff for you to take a look at here. I mean, you're better with magic stuff than I am, but
Oh, of course, we
and
can work something
He'd
out.
give the names of the books that Volek had in his study.
He'll nod. He says, well, actually, some of those might be on here. That one there about the corpse, that doesn't sound like it'd be particularly useful. Certainly no market for that sort of thing. No legitimate market. But I think that perhaps some of those might very well work. Yes, indeed. And he'll hand you a list, actually, of titles.
What do we got here?
If you can bring me any of those, I will compensate you most handsomely for them.
Yeah, I think we can figure something out. I can just take a look around there. From what I hear, I mean, probably gonna have to tear through some undead, so if you got anything good on that.
Well, if you're looking for some sort of magical support, I'm more than willing to help out, but I don't believe I'd ever known you to be a student of that sort, especially with that wand there you're waving about.
Well, we found this sort of buried in a place where two of the folks we're going through here with kind of got kidnapped by some weird lights. Got
Fascinating
them
story.
out of there. Yeah, I can tell you more about it, but trying to actually, pull out the wand, just kind of hold it up. I know it's Aklo, and I get like the structure of how it's worded.
You'll peer
But I'm
at
still
it.
trying to figure out how to comprehend and speak it proper. Because you give me time enough, I can get most of it. But it's more like want to be able to speak it like this. How
I
we're
see.
conversing right now.
Oh, interesting. It's a spell designed to reverse time? In a very localized fashion. You'll stare at it and turn it over for a bit. Recite a spell, trace an icon over it. Oh, fascinating. Well, yes, indeed. It reverses wounds, as it were.
Useful enough in my field.
Yes, indeed. Very different method of action. Typically, most of the godly wounds would simply actually heal the wound. Those similar effect can be achieved through channeling primal life magic, accelerating the body's natural healing processes to close wounds. But this in particular specifically reverses time of the injury itself to before it happened.
That just seems like way too complicated a magic to do on that.
I would certainly think so, yet the power level of this is some of these more esoteric functions they're always very fascinating to me. I've always had a bit of a side study of them as they were. They found such odd ways of doing very simple things, and he'll hand the wand back to you.
If you like esoteric nonsense, I'll introduce you to Altamok sometime.
Ah, yes, Mr. Thorngard. He's well, certainly he's been, he's an interesting fellow. Talks a bit too much for my taste.
He's finding faith, too, so he's going to have a whole new mouthful to spout off here soon.
Oh, lovely. Well, hopefully he doesn't turn into a proselytizer. The worst is he'd be good at it.
Not a proselytizer.
Hey, at least the fella he learned it from is more the whole smashy, destroy the undead sort of the Sarenites and not the preachy ones.
Huh.
He's a nice enough fella, though.
Oh, yes, of course. Delightful person. Pillar of the community and all that.
I'll keep an eye on things, and supposing I can find the books I'm looking for to figure out what exactly they were, or anything you're looking for.
Well, so just remember that list. Remember,
I got
gold
it down
for anything
here.
you bring back to me.
Yep, of course. Stop by later. We got some weird stuff that we found. Weird, like, gemstone from a machine that was power and necromancy and whatnot, and some other stuff that might be, well, at least up your alley of telling us how it works, or at least what it's worth to someone.
Sure, absolutely. I could help with that. Morlabin will be willing to help cash out some of your more esoteric, if not actively magical finds. The gear, the onyx gem, various things like that.
Yeah. And the other thing he'd pull out is, well, Rin, you know far more about the stars than I do. We found this perfectly well preserved and whatnot.
It's beautiful.
It's fantastically made. You got to give it to him on that. But do you know any reason that they put the constellations on wrong?
She frowns.
It's clearly
actually.
It's intentional.
She is frowning as she looks at it, as though something is wrong. And then you say the constellations are wrong, and her eyes will kind of flit and focus. And she turns the telescope over in her hands. The craftsmanship is exquisite.
That's what they can't be a mistake. That had to be intentional.
No, they're deliberate.
But why would you put it's 7? It's like that many wrong. It's got to put to something else, right?
There's 7 flaws. Each constellation has 7 flaws in it.
Yeah. I've been trying to map it out in my head, laying them out on sheets and whatnot to figure out if maybe the flaws lead to another constellation that just ain't connected or something.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
It was in a pretty wrecked up room, but the case and it were fine.
Well, I don't see any magical aura about it.
No, it seemed plenty good.
And
just
she'll
a
actually
fine
hold it.
spyglass.
This is phenomenally crafted. And she'll point it to the sky. It's daytime, so there's
Right at the sun, and it burns her eye out.
Well, she
It's
doesn't
a
have
mimic.
pupils.
Oh, it eats her head.
She doesn't have pupils. It's fine.
That's true.
And she looks at it curiously. Please allow me to purchase this from you.
Certainly.
I'll see if I can't.
If I find anything else on it, I'll bring it to you.
Yes, there's something about this that just. I don't. There's a mystery here I need to tease out.
Well, if you want a hand with it, I do like figuring things out.
Well, I understand you have quite a handful of yourself going on right now.
That's late. And just kind of pull the shoulder off and show the wound. Yeah, real interesting stories to tell right now.
Goodness gracious. Looks like someone stabbed you right in the shoulder.
Yeah, and then trying to dig it out made it worse.
Oh, goodness gracious. Poor thing. Well, try to keep your guard up. Try to stay behind Drevin. He looks sturdy enough.
Yeah, that's the goal. We were in pretty tight space, though.
I'm glad you made it out.
Either way, we'll get there eventually, but Appreciate the help. Feel free with the spyglass. We'll figure out. I'll bring everyone else by later to give you an update. I got to go figure out where Mocker and
she'll take the
everyone else ran
spyglass.
off
She'll
to.
pay you for it, and she'll pay you 25 gold. And she will gingerly put it onto a shelf and then move away from it. You can tell from her posture that this spyglass weirds her out. Like, absolutely weirds her out, and you're not really sure. And she doesn't seem to be sure why. But she moves over to her table and pulls out her harrow deck and starts laying out a complicated pattern. We'll cut over to our, let's see here. We've already gone through your morning with the ritual. Well, you guys probably crashed around 4 in the morning, something like that. Eventually, you may be able to find your companions. It might take you a fair bit. Maybe that sounds like this day might not be too terribly productive.
That's not what days after an all-nighter are meant to be.
No,
We make some coffee. I pour a little minty sort of spirit in it, and I go, you know why they call them spirits? It's because when you drink them with coffee, your head goes places it ain't supposed to go.
I never knew that.
Yeah, now you do.
I learn all kind of things here. I'm glad we're friends.
Me too.
So you hand Nil the equivalent of a Four Loko.
Caffeine and alcohol
That's right.
in the same cup.
And it works like you might expect.
Excellently.
Gotta be in the right headspace.
Great. I'm ready for the day.
You bump into
Let's
things,
go.
but faster.
Ready to do things, not sure what you're doing.
Yep.
That's our whole MO.
Let me drive the cart.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that not much productive will get done today. But did anyone want to do anything in particular or talk to anyone in particular?
Mocker will be sure to bring the handkerchief that was replaced by his holy pocket square? His holy pocket square. The handkerchief, he'll bring it back to you.
Containing your last breath as a heathen.
No, the
The
other
other
one.
the one that he replaced.
Oh, I see.
The old one.
Yeah. It's been replaced by an artifact of the goddess. But I thought you should have it.
Thank you.
It's what a handkerchief's for.
Oh my god.
Thanks.
Into
I
the-
was feeling really groggy today.
That's what I used to do with it.
Oh my gosh.
Into the sack.
Put it
Uh-huh.
into the pocket.
What did you all do last night?
We went to sleep super early.
Yeah.
Got a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you ask, Mom?
We were sleeping.
The whole time.
Yep. This
Calvin's
drink is
eyes
really
are
good.
really bloodshot, by the way.
From the
but
coffee.
so wide.
Yeah.
You all look exhausted.
No,
I'm not exhausted.
I don't.
You're exhausted. I'm not exhausted. I'm
I
fine.
don't.
You're
I don't
fine.
feel exhausted. Do I look exhausted? Do you want some coffee? By the way, it's really good.
Take the sword and hold it against Borbo.
With the sword against Borbo?
Yes, they can talk to each other.
Why are you trying to stab my fish?
Borbo kind of like starts to float away from the sword.
No, he wants to talk to you.
Oh. All right. Kind of put a little fin on the sword. Uh-huh.
Touch the button.
Yeah.
Nashi found out what
No,
they
no.
did last night.
No, it's just, no, that's still the plan. I mean, whenever they go back in there, I don't know where he is.
Rivet.
That's why I need them. Yeah, no, you'll stab him. Oh, I promise. No, absolutely. Oh, yeah, no, he definitely needs it. Yeah, absolutely.
Nashi, what did they do last night?
Huh? Oh, they just kind of, sat around a fire and stared at it.
Good job, Bones.
Good work. I'll be like,
Yeah.
Bones is an ally.
my
So you're only hearing one half of
minion.
this conversation.
Comrade
like,
Bones, baby.
You can almost see the Bones fish skeleton sweating.
The water running off the moss.
Yes,
Right.
like, Yep. Well, if you'll look at the time, and it kind of flaps away from
Tries
the
to
sword.
look at his sundial.
Yep. No, it's time to go. Flap,
Is he
flap,
Canadian?
flap,
Oh yeah.
flap. It's gotta go. Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
like-
Kaladar's back.
Yeah.
I nod approvingly over to Bones, and I'm like, "This is a great morning." It's like 2:00 in the afternoon.
It's a morning somewhere.
That's right.
I suppose we'll go back eventually, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We definitely
I'm
have to
ready.
go back.
I'm ready anytime. I like Trip.
Because we have
Yep, I'm ready.
Stagger.
Let's go.
No,
I'm
catch
ready.
you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yep. Got everything. Yep. We have everything we need.
Well, it might take you a little bit of an extra day to fully gather all your faculties.
I'm gonna spend that day learning about ghouls from the lovely priestess who
If you wanna-
we should never see the art of again.
Yeah. If
We're
you
never
wa-
talking to Vandy ever.
If you want to bring a book, she will check you one out. A book on
yeah.
the ghouls, and that
I
will
would
actually,
love to.
Better
while
be a
you're
picture book.
referencing
Ah.
ghouls, you'll be able to reference it and get a bonus.
Yeah.
To recalling knowledge.
This is
our
knowledge
tatter,
about
man.
ghouls. Oh my god!
I can reference the book.
You can reference it.
It better be a
is it
picture
book?
Why are you looking for a book on ghouls?
No, I'm
You
asking
suggested
to
the
be
book.
told about ghouls.
We were
Oh,
told.
you're asking me told about ghouls.
Yeah, I will
Schooled
spend
in ghouls.
Yes, I'll spend the day
me to
literally
ghoul school.
asking to be taught about ghouls.
Gotcha.
You were
okay.
just dead wrong.
Ah, goodness gracious. All right, schooled in ghouls it is. Sure. Someone will go ahead and lecture you about ghouls. Give me a learning roll. Intelligence check.
17.
Okay.
It's a 16 on the die.
There you go. Yeah, no, you pick up some useful information and tidbits about ghouls. We'll leave it at that. I'll get you some particulars later.
I am going to spend the day using how drunk and addled they are to try to needle them about what the heck that they've been doing that they're so secretive about, to try to trick them into telling me what they've been doing.
Okay.
Comrades don't talk.
Yeah, it's like a tomb over here. You don't even know.
There was a very late night, just full fatigue,
Like, honestly,
blood
he
pact
doesn't
made.
even care what it is. He's assuming it's something totally nonsensical and absolutely unimportant, but they're not telling him, and
First
he
of all-
cannot stand a secret.
You're a
Excuse
square now.
you.
They won't
Okay,
talk to
now
you.
I'm a bit offended. Yeah.
All right.
This is a
Nonsensical.
secret.
Fair enough.
And if he knows one thing, it's that Nil can't resist when he turns on the glow.
I have priorities. First of all.
This is great.
Number 2, I'm gonna bring snacks for the cat.
What's your deception bonus?
Oh, he's not trying to deceive them.
You are 100% trying
Yeah,
to deceive.
yes.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
trying to charm them.
I'm
it's
trying
different.
to trick them into.
I'm trying to trick them with my golden smile.
They don't want to tell you
Plus
something.
3.
You're trying to wheedle it out of them. I'm pretty sure that's deception. You are able to glean that they are working together to plan something and are gleefully happy about the prospect.
It is clearly a surprise birthday party for you.
You know what? That wouldn't be far off the mark. Similar in that would be this would be what you would expect if they were planning a surprise party. Not you don't know if that's what it is, but you know.
Can't
You
jump
have
to
your
conclusions.
suspicions.
And then I faint.
For those listening.
And then you definitely can't get anything out of her when
Yeah,
she's
then I
fainted.
straight faint.
No need to another
Coffee
Four Loco
spilled.
set.
I
Coffee
had
spilled on the ground.
no idea you all cared about me that much.
Uh-huh.
I'm fainted, so I guess I can't respond to this.
I'll get out the smelling salts. I'll hold them very far away from her face.
The little fish will kind of turn over to Calvin and kind of tip to one side. You're not sure if that's a wink or what, but
I accept it as such.
and then it'll kind of flap.
Whoa, Oh, we have a minion group. This is so cool. We're like our own little cool people club.
Find Drevin at the library and just, hey, you have your meeting with Andy with a cousin and whatnot?
Yeah, she's...
I have a very important question about this.
Yeah.
Did he accidentally call her mom? Because that's happened before several times across the schooling. It's funny every time.
No.
Dang. Can't rib him on that one, then.
Well,
He did say a rousing speech, though.
Yeah, it sounds like him.
it was pretty rousing, actually. Like
That
it
sounds
was,
about
it
right.
was, it was good. It was good. It was like Ultimate levels of good. But
Dang.
with the day to recover, it looks like we'll have to go back out to the Abomination Vaults the next day. And I hope that you'll be all there with us when we do. That's going to be coming on out. Not next week. We're going to be at PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
And, well, a number of us are. Certainly far too many of us to be able to actually run a show. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. If any of you are going to be at PAX Unplugged,
Come
feel
see
free to
us.
Stop on by.
We should have shirts.
We should have shirts. We'll see if it works out. We
I
should
will
have
pick
shirts.
you
I'll
up.
kidnap the Twitter from Corey and give shout-outs to where we're at occasionally.
You'll get to see how short I really am.
The answer
It's
is if she stands
high-rising.
up, it doesn't change much of what her height is right now.
I can and will pick you up.
Yes. Derp is a large man.
He put me on the roof.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, all fair warning. But certainly with all that in mind, come by and say hi.
This does also go for Strange Aeons as well this week, because we forgot to mention that yesterday. We are also not going to have any Strange Aeons this
They
weekend.
forgot to mention that yesterday.
Well,
AJ
Squid
did forget to
forgot.
mention that.
my
yes.
It's
disappointment is
squid
immeasurable.
o'clock.
But
My
yes,
day
indeed.
is ruined.
Yep, indeed. But yeah, no Strange Aeons tomorrow. This next week either.
Tomorrow.
Or tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
But come on by, see us at PAX Unplugged if you're going to be there. If not, we will see. Feel free to enjoy the VOD of this very show.
Yeah.
That'll be up. And pop into our Patreon. If you are a patron, $5 gets you access to absolutely everything, including a post show we're about to do. And feel free to check out our podcast from any of your favorite podcasting sources. Aside from that,
You can look into the future and see that we're there.
look into the past and see that we're there, or the future. Either way, we will see you all 2 weeks from now. Thank you very much for being a part of us, and have a great evening.